right, we are back, man. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We got some news for this morning. Let's hear what Pierre Poilievre has to say about the current conditions in Canada. The current conditions in Canada. All right, so let's get it. Right? Me personally, I'd vote anything. I'll vote for anybody. I will vote for anybody but a Democrat or liberal. Justin Trudeau's government, Canadian government, is illegitimate. I've never voted for any of them. But Pierre Poilievre, he's got policies, better policies. Yes. Let's continue. So they're just getting ready to bring them out. We'll see what happens here. See what happens here. All right, I want to know what's going on around the world. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. Getting ready. Okay, here we go.
Bonjour tout le monde. Comme vous le savez, le Parlement est paralysé aujourd'hui, encore à cause de la camouflage de Justin Trudeau et les libéraux qui refusent de donner les documents concernant un scandale de 400 millions de dollars à la GRC. Le Premier ministre refuse de respecter le jugement du président de la Chambre
Okay, before I continue with this, there's a video on X of some cogs in a machine, pieces of trash burning the Canadian flag. I'm going to put that up before we continue here. Right? This is what we're talking about. This is why. Here it is here. Burning the Canadian flag. Right? If you don't like this, right? Canada said if you don't like this country, just go back. Just if you don't like it, why are you here? Why are you here if you don't like this country? I have the flag in the background because I respect the Canadian flag. These guys don't do this. You don't like Canada? Get out. Leave. Look what they're doing. You hate this country and you burn the flag. You rip and burn the flag. So no, we're not on the same page. I don't agree with your ideology. I don't like you. I don't respect you. Now we can continue to Poilievre. And I'm just getting warmed up, man, because I haven't been doing live streams for a while.
En conséquence, le travail du Parlement est paralysé. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a dans les documents qui est aussi mauvais que le Premier ministre a peur de partager les preuves avec les policiers? Ça montre encore qu'après 9 ans, Justin Trudeau et le Bloc libéral n'en valent pas le coût, le crime et la corruption. Après 9 ans de Justin Trudeau, le coût de logement a doublé. La nourriture a gonflé en prix, forçant 2 millions de personnes aux banques alimentaires. Il y a des maladies liées à la manque de nourriture qui font un retour à cause de cette inflation. Le coût de logement a doublé nationalement. À Montréal, ça a triplé. Triplé, c'est incroyable de voir combien ça coûte cher après 9 ans, de la bureaucratie que Justin Trudeau a financée, qui bloque la construction de logements, l'impression d'argent qui gonfle le coût de tout, un système d'immigration que Justin Trudeau a brisé après que c'était auparavant le meilleur système au monde. Et maintenant, on voit aussi la division que M. Trudeau a causée avec sa rhétorique, sa style politique, la division qu'il fait entre groupes, sa manque de sécurité à nos frontières. On voit ça surtout avec l'antisémitisme et la violence dirigée vers notre communauté juive. Il faut remarquer que ça, c'est de nouveau au Canada. Évidemment, il y a toujours eu.
Hold on, I got another one here by Cat Canada. Hold on a second. Here's another angle of this. Look, check this out.
We are the Black Panthers. We are the Double Tigers.
No, you're not. You're not the Black Panthers. You're nothing. No, you're not. You're not the Black Panthers. Absolutely not.
We are the Black Panthers. We are the Double Tigers. We are Alan Sarr. We are the
No, 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 no.
And yes, we are Hezbollah and we are Hamas.
Right. So you're a terrorist organization, are you? Okay. Okay, that's what you're saying?
For centuries. We are the Black.
Okay, now let's continue back on what we're doing here.
Malheureusement, l'antisémitisme, mais pas si nouveau. On n'a pas eu des synagogues allumées en feu. La violence et les appels à la génocide devant les maisons, les hôpitaux, les entreprises juives auparavant. On peut blâmer, si on veut, le 7 octobre, mais on a toujours eu des conflits en Moyen-Orient. En 1967, il y a eu une guerre. En 1973, la guerre de Yom Kippour. Il y a eu 2 intifadas, la guerre entre Hezbollah et Israël en 2008.
What the hell
Pas
happened?
de violence dans nos rues, pas de synagogue attaquée.
What the hell
Ça,
happened
c'est
to
de
this
nouveau.
country, man?
En fait,
Oh my
les
God.
crimes de la haine avaient augmenté de plus de 100% avant le 7 octobre. C'est à cause de l'approche qui divise avec une idéologie extrême imposée de ce gouvernement qu'on est dans cette place. On a vu hier encore une autre manifestation de ça. Des groupes sur la terre, ici au Canada, qui font des déclarations haineuses, qui revendiquent qu'Israël soit effacé de la carte. Des citations que j'ai fait à la Chambre, j'ai répété à la Chambre des communes pour chercher une condamnation de notre ministre des Affaires étrangères et refusé de les condamner. Et je revendique que Mme la ministre Joly s'excuse pour avoir refusé de dénoncer des propos génocidaires et haineux dirigés à notre communauté juive. C'est incroyable qu'au Canada, un ministre des Affaires étrangères n'a pas le courage de dénoncer des propos génocidaires et haineux dirigés à notre communauté juive, surtout quand elle veut avancer son agenda et ses ambitions à la chefferie future des libéraux. Encore, on a sur le terrain des groupes qui supportent le terrorisme. Et c'est la raison pour laquelle je suis ici aujourd'hui. Le groupe Samidoun, c'est un organisme qui est un front pour le Front populaire de la libération de Palestine, qui est un groupe déjà banni au Canada. Au Canada, on a une loi antiterroriste qui exige que si un groupe agit au nom ou pour le bénéfice d'un autre groupe terroriste, ce deuxième groupe doit être banni. C'est selon la section 83 de la code criminel. J'ai la preuve ici que Samidoun fait exactement ça. Le fondateur de Samidoun, Khaled Barakat, a été décrit par le gouvernement israélien comme un membre haut placé du FPLP, un groupe banni au Canada. Le FPLP est placé sur la liste des entités terroristes en vertu du code criminel du pays depuis 2003. En février 2021, le ministre israélien de la Défense nationale a désigné Samidoun comme étant un organisme terroriste et une filiale du FPLP. Et en 2023, l'Allemagne a également interdit Samidoun, déclarant qu'il servait de réseau international qui diffuse de la propagande anti-israélienne et anti-juive et qu'il soutenait et glorifiait diverses organisations terroristes étrangères, y compris le Hamas. Les dirigeants de Samidoun ont été expulsés d'Allemagne en 2019 et se sont vus refuser l'entrée dans l'Union PLP et mort d'autres organismes de sécurité de tir en their hands on it. Used the speakers or to se concentrer sur la prochaine élection. On va protéger tous les Canadiens.
French,
on va
right?
surtout se concentrer sur nos grandes priorités. Couper taxes et impôts, bâtir des logements, réparer le budget, stopper les crimes, y compris le terrorisme, pour le Canada que nous connaissons et le Canada que nous aimons. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. As you know, the House of Commons is paralyzed today, again, I think for the 7th day.
Is it?
After Justin Trudeau refused the Speaker's order to hand over evidence to the police in a $400 million scandal.
Think about that. A $400 million scandal by the Prime Minister of Canada. He refuses to hand over evidence. So why should I follow their laws? If the person with the most power in the country doesn't even follow their laws, the government is illegitimate, man. And it's going to cause a lot of problems. And if you think that it's not, then I just got a bridge to sell you, man. Hold on a second. I got to set up this other story. All right. I was just putting this up on my channel so you can see it for yourself. I got to hear it from me.
A scandal
right?
involving 186 conflicts of interest, wherein liberal...
Right? Like, it's a mind-boggling that this is going on in this country. Hold on a second. So I gotta look up the story here. Hold on a second. Oh. Yeah, because there's another viral story going on here. Okay, let's play this here.
I think for the 7th day, after Justin Trudeau refused
he's
the Speaker's order to hand over evidence to the...
Justin Trudeau's illegitimate prime minister. It's amazing, ain't it? Okay, hold on a second. So there's another viral story that went on. So a boy was mauled by the babysitter's pit bulls. And you should see her mugshot, right? Another dating app, lost, no-purpose female that doesn't know, doesn't care, and believes lies. It's really amazing. Hold on. 1 second. right? They're so irrelevant. Like their whole life is irrelevant. It's really crazy. Anyway, let's continue with this.
83. Donc, nous revendiquons que le gouvernement prenne au sérieux la sécurité de notre pays en interdisant cet organisme-là et en protégeant nos rues. C'est la moindre chose qu'on peut faire pour rétablir l'ordre. On veut que le Canada soit en paix encore, soit sécuritaire encore, que les gens, tous les gens, y compris et surtout les Juifs, puissent se sentir en sécurité. Et c'est pour ça que nous revendiquons ça. Quand les conservateurs gagnent la prochaine élection, on va protéger tous les Canadiens. On va surtout se concentrer sur nos grandes priorités, couper taxes et impôts, bâtir des logements, réparer le budget, stopper les crimes, y compris le terrorisme, pour le Canada que nous connaissons et le Canada que nous aimons. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. As you know, the House of Commons is paralyzed today, again, I think for the 7th day, after Justin Trudeau refused the Speaker's order to hand over evidence to the police in a $400 million scandal. A scandal involving 186 conflicts of interest, wherein Liberal appointees gave money, Canadian tax dollars, to their own companies.
Wow.
There must be something really damaging in all these documents Trudeau is covering up for him to shut down the House's businesses for 7 days in order to prevent the police from getting their hands on him.
Wow.
It's just another reminder that after 9 years of Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, it's another reminder. They voted this piece of shit in office. I can't believe it.
Everything is broken.
Everything in Canada is broken. Yes, he's right. Yep, he's right. Let's play through.
Worth the crime, the cost, and the corruption. Housing costs have doubled. The cost of food has driven 2 million people to the food bank. Our economy is the fastest shrinking in the G7. Right now, the average American makes 50% more than the average Canadian, the worst gap between our two countries in Canadian history. Food price inflation has been 36% higher in Canada than in the US, something that the food professor Sylvain Charlebois attributes directly to the carbon tax, which, and they're the worst, the news gets even worse. Trudeau wants to quadruple.
Remember they said, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. Hey, it doesn't affect what I'm doing. They lied about that too. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. And so now we're in the truth era, and we're winning.
To 61 cents a liter, which will grind our economy to a halt. Factories won't get their parts. Grocery stores won't get their food. Workers won't get their paychecks. It will be like a nuclear winter for our economy if this quadrupling carbon tax goes ahead. And that's why common sense conservatives will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime after the carbon tax election. But worse than anything else is what we see in our streets today. What has happened to our country?
I have been asking this question since 2020, give or take, since the pandemic. There's no, right? This is a cashless, sexless society. There's no dating. There's no building families. There's no buying homes. There's high rent, high crime, soft on crime policies, Democrat policies. Whatever's happening in America is happening in Canada. That's what I'm saying. The policies don't work. I would never vote for them ever in life.
The division, the leader, which will grind our economy to a halt. Factories won't get their parts. Grocery stores won't get their food. Workers won't get their paychecks. It will be like a nuclear winter for our economy if this quadrupling carbon tax goes ahead. And that's why common sense conservatives will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime after the carbon tax election. But worse than anything else is what we see in our streets today. What has happened to our country? The division, the violence, the hate, the danger.
Okay, so I could answer that question. What happened to Canada? Let me answer it real quick. So the neoliberal policies and the neoliberal order, the neoliberal economic order. So it's the liberal policies, it's the neoliberal economic order. Okay? What does that mean? Well, it means very simply and clearly. Primarily, women vote Democrats. 72% to 79% of women in the G7 countries, they vote for Democrat policies. They're pro-LGBTQIA. They're pro-transgenderism. They're pro-immigration. They're pro-high taxes. They're pro-feminizing males. That's what they want. They want to feminize males. They want to be the superior to masculine men. They want men to abide by their masculinity. Strong and independent, I don't need a man. And you have incompetent leaders in power. Justin Trudeau and his liberal government are incompetent. They can't run a country. 9 years of Justin Trudeau's policies have not worked, hasn't made Canadians' lives better. So as a black man that stands on a square and his morals, values, and principles, I've come to realize this and accept it. Right? I've come to realize and accept it. And it's like, if you don't agree with me, I'm going to ignore you. There's no conversation about who has the best ideas to have a conversation, just to share ideas. They say, well, if you don't agree with my points and my beliefs and my truth, I don't want to talk to you. You're irrelevant. I'm going to demonize you. That's what they've done. And so the citizens of this country don't respect the figurehead of Canada. So now they don't respect each other. So now you're going to have violence, chaos, and unruly behavior in the streets. And I understand this. I've been studying society for a while. And then you mix in social media, the drugs, the alcohol, the marijuana, possibly. It's crazy. Hold on a sec. So yes, they hate each other. I said it. People don't like each other. The melting pot is destroyed now. Yeah, you can't have a society that's like that. Nope. So they want, and by the way, dating apps have ruined societies too. Like, oh, I'm going to pick a partner based off appearance. Really? Get the fuck out of here with that, man. Everything they have said is lies, man. So they have a disdain for each other. You don't talk to me, I don't talk to you. I'm just going to look at my phone. I'm just going to be on social media. I'm going to get my opinions and thoughts and ideas shaped based off of who talks to me on social media. Like, everything they say is nothing but lies. And if they vote for this Kamala Harris clown in, it's really going to be chaos in the streets.
Sure. The anti-Semitism that we've never stopped the crime after. It's even worse. Trudeau wants to quadruple to 61 cents a liter,
Government of Canada,
which will grind our economy to a halt.
Once again,
factories won't get their parts, grocery stores won't get their food, workers won't get their paychecks. It will be like a nuclear winter for our economy if this quadrupling carbon tax goes ahead. And that's why common sense conservatives will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime after the carbon tax election. But worse than anything else,
oh Lord,
is what we see in our streets today.
Oh, what we see.
What has happened to our country?
I just answered that. All right. Hey, you disagree with me, I'm going to call your names and demonize you. I'm going to disagree with you and call you out your name over social media because you challenged me on my belief system. I told you, I'm just going to worry about my family, what I need to do as a man, and just keep it kosher, because you can't talk to these cogs in a machine. one-dimensional thinkers. They can't be challenged. They've been coddled their whole life. Right? They've been coddled their whole life. When challenged and faced with adversity, they come out with hatred towards each other. Right? It's really amazing. It's really amazing. And then when we get to the next story, you should see this woman. Right? It's crazy, but I'll save it for the next one.
The division, the violence, the hate.
Yeah, they don't like each other. Pierre, Poilievre. They don't respect Justin Trudeau, so now they don't like each other. Right? They don't respect Justin Trudeau. They have a deep disdain for people that have an opposite opinion than them. They demonize and call people out their names because they disagree with them. I'm allowed to disagree with them. I don't have to agree with everything they say. I think for myself. I don't want to be on the Democratic or the liberal plantation. No, thank you. But not them. No, not them. This is who these people are. They've been doing this shit for the last few years now. And it has consequences. Yeah, it has serious consequences. So me personally, I've talked about these kind of stories for a long time. And it just goes to show you know what I'm saying? I have a good credibility because I don't lie to my audience. I don't lie to people. I tell them the truth. There's so many politicians that won't tell people the truth. Tell them the truth. But they choose to lie to them, and it's funny.
The danger, the anti-Semitism.
I'm not going to lie to you.
That
No.
we've never seen
I don't
before
owe
in
you
this
lies.
country. Now, it's easy to blame the firebombing of synagogues, the hateful genocidal protests, protest chants in front of Jewish businesses, homes, and hospitals as simply a reaction to a conflict in the Middle East.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense. First, hate crime was up over 100% before October 7th. And second, this is not the first time there's been a conflict in the Middle East. There was the war of 1967. And then there was the Yom Kippur War in 73. There were two intifadas. There was the war against Hezbollah in 2006. There was the operation against Hamas in 2014. We never saw that violence spill onto our streets.
Nope.
We didn't see people bring those hatreds into Canada.
Nope.
But after 9 years of Trudeau's radical ideology, his deliberate attempts to divide people into groups.
Who had the best analogy how they divide people? What was the best analogy? Well, we know, if you divide people based on race, gender, and DEI policies, if we know you divide people, we know it's, they look at it as it's easier to control them. Right? And women are more susceptible to the mainstream media's narratives. They're more susceptible to this. And so this is where we are now. Right? Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm witnessing all of this shit. It's crazy. That's why you got to take care of yourself. You got to be smart. Nobody else is going to be out there and telling Canadians to be smart. Be smart, be aware, and good things will happen. Because I believe Pierre Poilievre is on our side. I really believe it. I've been watching his content. I've been listening to what he has to say. I don't think he's saying lip service. I don't think he's saying lip service. If I did, I would come out and say that. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's saying, he confirms what I was saying. Yeah, he confirms it, man. You can't have a society that's run like this, man. No.
His reckless destruction of our border security, letting in 2 ISIS terrorists. One.
Right. Justin Trudeau let in 2 ISIS terrorists to come into Canada to harm innocent citizens. This is crazy. And all we're saying, we just want accountability. We want you to do something for the people. We've been asking for this for a long time, and you choose not to do it. So if we can get a Donald Trump in here, a bull in a china shop, to bring you down, to bring your guys' narratives down, I'm all for it. I don't know if this is the woman, Arlington. I don't think this is the woman. I'm looking for this woman's Facebook, but I don't think this is her. Anyway, let's continue.
Apparently videotaped mutilating a human body on a crucifix and subsequently making that person a citizen. These kinds of reckless policies and the actions of this
they're very reckless.
The refusal to condemn these remarks. Just yesterday,
yes,
the Minister of Foreign Affairs did something unbelievable on the floor of the House of Commons.
She can't do it. She can't do it because she doesn't have a moral compass. She has no integrity. She doesn't have a moral frame. She cannot condemn Hamas. I can condemn Hamas. Hamas, I condemn you. I do not want you on the streets of Canada, and I think you're a terrorist organization. That is easy to do, but they can't do it because they don't have a moral framework.
I read the genocidal comments that have been made by these radical mobs, and I said, would you just condemn it?
No.
From the river to the sea?
No.
She wouldn't condemn that.
Can't do it.
Israel.
They cannot do it because they're programmed and conditioned to just read the teleprompter, read from the script. You know, it's the liberal democratic machine, as Elon Musk was calling it. Right? They are puppets. Justin Trudeau is a puppet. He's not even a real politician. He's a puppet.
Israel will soon be gone. She wouldn't condemn that. There's only one solution: intifada, revolution. She wouldn't condemn that. She wouldn't even affirm Israel's right to retaliate against other countries attacking it. She should apologize.
She should.
A foreign affairs minister in Canada should find it very easy to condemn those kinds of remarks, but she didn't because she's pandering politically.
Of course.
Which is what Justin Trudeau has been doing for the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Today, we see that on our streets.
Right. This is what they've been doing. And I'm a guy that calls out their bullshit. I'm a guy that stands on my morals, values. I can admit when I'm wrong or if I got something wrong. How come they can't do it? What gives them the right to earn my vote? What gives them the right to earn my goddamn vote? Nothing. They don't get the right to earn my vote because they have done nothing for birthright Canadians. All they have done is just destroyed the fabric and the fabric of this country. And now it's just blatant. You can see it.
The organization Samadoun, which is a front for the PFLP, has been fomenting these violent and horrific protests and mob actions. This organization is a front for an already banned terrorist group, and it is an offense under Section 83.5 of the Criminal Code, as enacted by the Anti-Terrorism Act, to knowingly act on behalf of, at the direction of, or in association with a terrorist entity. Specifically, Samadoun's founder, Khalid Barakat, has been described by the Israeli government as a high-ranking member of the PFLP. The PFLP has been placed on the list of banned Canadian terrorist entities for 20 years. In 2021, the Israeli Ministry of National Defense designated Samadoun as an organization that is a subsidiary of the PFLP. Germany banned the Samadoun, saying that it served as an international network which disseminates anti-Israel and anti-Jewish propaganda. And
okay, well, let me show you what he's talking about. So look at this shit here. I'm just doing some research. Look at this. Our country is now full of people who hate our country. A demonstrator just lit a Canadian flag. This is the second video. If you don't like Canada, what the fuck you still here? Leave and show us your results when you leave. You stupid fucks walk around with a mask on to hide your identity while you burn the Canadian flag. And then if you're for pro-Hamas, if you were over there, if you identify as LGBTQIA, you wouldn't have any rights. I don't respect these kind of guys. I don't go to the protests no more to get footage because I'd probably fight them. I'd knock them out. I don't go to this shit no more. I'll just sit in my crib and just do the commentary on what I see. They're not leaders. They can't lead me. They don't have They don't have answers for a guy like me or for my audience members. I wouldn't support them. I don't want to be friends. I'm not going to dap their fists. These are cogs in the machine. You burn in the Canadian flag? Why? For what? For views online? You want attention? You want attention that bad? This is insane. This is insane. And when the Civil War happens, you can't say, well, what? Why did we get here? Look what they're doing. And not anybody around him would even say, no, dog, what are you doing? Because they hate this country. They hate Canada. I know they hate Canada. I'm not stupid. I know. Anyway, I digress. I know. Trust me, I know. Right? They're blatant with their hatred.
Supported and glorified
That's
various foreign terrorist organizations, including Hamas. Samadoun's leadership was deported from Germany, refused entry into the EU in 2022, and both times they were returned and, of course, welcomed to Canada. In 2019, PayPal, DonorBox, and Plaid shut out online donations to Samadoun due to its alleged links to the PFLP, following an incident in June where the PFLP issued an official statement of gratitude to Samadoun for its support of its prisoners. And Samadoun's Canadian leader, Charlotte Cates, has traveled to Iran and appeared on state TV, where she described Hamas's actions of October 7th as brave and heroic. Her organization has gone on to make numerous glorifications of October the 7th, specifically saying, this was what she said, her group said yesterday, long live October 7th. October 7th, the inception of the Al-Aqsa flood, the day that made clear to the world that Palestinian people and their armed resistance can and will liberate Palestine, and that the entire region will be free of Zionism and imperialism. The great flood toward liberation. On October 7th, 2023, Mohammed Deif, commander of the Al-Qassam brigades and the Palestinian resistance, said, "Today, the people reclaim their revolution, correct their path, and return to the march and return to the march of return." And finally, yesterday, the organization chanted in our streets, in Canadian streets, death to Canada, death to the United States, and death to Israel.
Okay, so you saying death to my country? Well, I'm a fierce person, right? I am a Canadian patriot. Yes, I've been a Canadian patriot. I have birthright citizenship. And if you don't like me for that, I'm willing to risk it all to prove a point. What does that mean? Well, I can just completely destroy your ideology. I've been doing that for almost 4 or 5 years now. I completely destroy your ideology. Okay? But you hate this country. You hate birthright Canadians. You don't respect people that are born here in this country. You don't even want to assimilate into this country. You don't even want to be here. So if you don't want to be here, why are you still here? So that's what they're trying to do. Miserable people like to make other people miserable. So they seeing birthright Canadians actually, making the best of a bad day. So what they're trying to do is make them unhappy by causing a lot of crime and violence and headache. That's what they're doing, man. I don't respect them, bro. I just don't.
So this is a terrorist organization. Common sense conservatives are calling for the government under Section 83.03 of the Criminal Code to ban Samadoun now. And
they won't. They're not going to ban any of that, unfortunately.
Bring home safety and security and peace to our streets. Let's unify our people. Let's end the crime by locking up the dangerous repeat offenders. Let's secure our borders. Let's keep terrorists out of our country. And let's
I'm for that. Yeah, completely.
Stand up for what's right once again.
Yeah, like he's right. Like, why aren't people standing up for what's right? Oh, wait. They don't have a moral framework. So they're cowards. They're cowards. They're cowards. It's that simple. Weak men create hard times. That's it.
And with our allies against terrorism and for decency. Let's bring home the country that we knew and still love. Thank you.
I hope it happens.
À propos des demandes de documents que vous avez préparées en Chambre, même les gens de la GRC disent on n'en a pas besoin. Est-ce que ce ne serait pas le moment d'envoyer tout ça à PROC?
C'est pas clair ce que vous dites. Moi, je crois que si les GRC n'en a pas besoin, ils peuvent l'ignorer. On dit que simplement les policiers devraient les avoir et c'est la GRC qui peut, à ce moment, décider si oui ou non ils vont utiliser ces documents-là. Mais il n'y a aucune raison pour laquelle le gouvernement ne fournira pas les documents à la GRC dans une enquête. Si Justin Trudeau n'a rien à cacher dans ce scandale de 400 millions de dollars où la vérificatrice générale a trouvé 184 incidents de conflit d'intérêts, donc le gouvernement devrait simplement fournir.
Okay, hold on, let's see.
Je comprenne la loi est genocidal.
Do you not feel like this could lead to a Yesterday you said that you endorse Israel proactively defending itself by hitting Iran's nuclear sites, which is something that President Joe Biden does not endorse. Do you not feel like this could lead to a likelihood of an all-out conventional war between Iran and Israel? And do you not agree with Joe Biden and his assessment?
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow.
Yep.
And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
Earlier today, Chrystia Freeland said that she'd be willing to work with the Conservatives to pass any legislation referencing Bachelor and COVID where the two parties work together. Are there any priorities which you actually share with the Liberals where you could see the two parties working together to pass something?
What do you think? You seen anything good they're doing lately? By the way, I was very rude. I have an incredible team here. I want to point them out here. We have Don Stewart, who's been fighting against the crime, fighting to put his kippah on properly so it didn't fall off yesterday. So thank you for that. And she is leading the charge on literally every single double housing cost. They've given us the worst inflation in everybody. Well, you're asking me on, look, what is their policy? They've doubled the debt, they doubled housing costs, they've given us the worst inflation in 40 years. Yep. They would have to do exactly the opposite of everything they've done.
Exactly. The opposite can be true, but for them to fix what they have been what they've broken, they literally have to do the opposite of what they did. They have to regress and change course and reassert themselves to have something different. It's crazy.
Fix all the problems that they've caused. What I'm saying is, let's axe the carbon tax to bring down gas, heat, and groceries rather than quadrupling the tax to 61 cents a liter. I would work with her on axing the carbon tax. I would allow her to take my private member's bill that will build the homes by removing bureaucracy to get building. I would allow the government to take my entire plan to cap government spending with a dollar for dollar law to bring down the deficit, inflation, and interest rates. And I would allow them to take my plan to stop the crime with jail, not bail, stronger borders, and not banning hunting rifles, and treatment rather than unsafe supply so we can bring our loved ones home drug-free. So take those.
So why not just agree?
No, but I'm just.
Right? Like they're barking these questions at him. Listen.
Finishing the question, if you take those ideas, axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime, to Chrystia Freeland, let me know what she says.
You can't do any of that until this current debate is dispensed with. So why not just agree to send it to the committee like the Speaker has suggested? The RCMP says it already has some of these documents. Why continue to buy the government more time with keeping the House of Commons in stasis? You can't bring up your confidence motions.
It's been months now since the Auditor General revealed a $400 million.
Okay, so he's gonna He's going to break down why the Canadian government is illegitimate. Guys, and everybody that's listening, please hit the like button. 1 like equals the removal of Justin Trudeau from office. But let's listen to how the Canadian government is illegitimate.
Your confidence motions.
It's been months now since
Here,
the
you go.
Auditor General revealed a $400 million spending scandal involving 186 instances of conflict of interest where Liberal appointees gave tax dollars to their own companies.
Okay, wait. I'm writing this down and putting it in the chat. Let's go through it.
Why continue to buy the government
I'm gonna write
more
it down and
time
put it
with
in the
keeping
chat.
the House of Commons in stasis?
The
You
opposite.
can't bring up your confidence motions.
It's been months now since the Auditor General revealed a $400 million spending scandal.
So let's put it in the chat. $400 million spending scandal. Okay. So 400 million. Hold on, let's just put a dollar sign. Whoops. So $400 spending $400 million spending scandal. That's the first one. Okay.
Involving 186 incidences of conflict, a $400 million spending scandal involving 186 incidences of conflict of interest where Liberal appointees.
Okay, 186 conflicts of interest with Liberal appointees. Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Gave tax dollars to their own companies.
Okay, gave tax dollars. My tax dollars, right? Tax dollars to their own companies. So make it make sense. Number one, a $400 million spending scandal. Okay. 186 conflicts of interest with Liberal appointees, and they gave my tax dollars to their own companies. And you're telling me that the government is legitimate?
$400 million is a lot of money for the single moms who can't afford groceries, for the seniors who can't afford rent. We're not just going to let $400 million of corruption be swept under the rug so Justin Trudeau can get on with his day. So we say, let's end this now. Let's get Parliament back to work by handing over the documents to the police so we can bring them over.
Justin Trudeau doesn't want to hand over documents to the police. The Canadian government is illegitimate. There is no laws. There is no government. There is no government in Canada. It's crazy.
Can't afford rent. We're not just going to let 400 million companies. $400 million is a lot of money for the single moms who can't afford groceries, the seniors who can't afford rent.
Right? The single fathers that can't afford groceries. You know what I'm saying? The students that are looking for jobs. The students that are in debt when they come out of college looking for jobs. And people want to look me in my goddamn eyes and tell me, well, everything is all good, man. Everything's fine. Really? These people are fucking sick.
We're not just going to let $400 million of corruption be swept under the rug so Justin Trudeau can get on with his day. So we say,
hold on. Is there, let me put, I don't think there's caption on this.
Let's end this now. Let's get Parliament back to work. Scandal involving 186 incidences of conflict of interest where Liberal appointees gave tax dollars to their own companies. $400
Isn't that crazy?
million is a lot of money for the single moms who can't afford groceries, the seniors who can't afford rent. We're not just going to let $400 million of corruption.
Hold on, put this in the chat. 400 million $400 million. $400 million worth of corruption. $400 million worth of corruption. Hold on.
You swept under the rug.
Being swept under the rug. I'll just put the $400 million worth of corruption. That's fine. But that's what it is. That's how the government is illegitimate in Canada.
So Justin Trudeau can get on with his day. So we say, let's end this now. Let's get Parliament back to work by handing over the documents to the police so we can bring home the
So Justin Trudeau's Liberal government won't hand over documents to the police. So how can the police charge me when the figurehead of my country won't even hand over documents to the police when he's being investigated for $400 million worth of corruption? The government in Canada is literally illegitimate. And every day that I do live streams and do these kind of streams, it just proves the fucking point. It just proves the fucking point. And if you live in an echo chamber and you don't want to see what reality and real life looks like, I don't know what to tell you. If you're scared, I don't know what to tell you. You can't stay inside all day. You got to go outside somewhere. And when you go outside, there's pandemonium in the streets of Canada. And I think it's happening in America too. But I digress. Let's go to their question period, because they're having some kind of question period right now. I got time to do this, so I kind of want to do some of that. Here we go.
Who, because of his failed radical drug policies, will never see their daughter again.
The honourable member from Vaughan Woodbridge.
Mr. Speaker, the hydrogen industry in Canada is expected to be worth $12 trillion by 2050 and help create more than 350,000 Canadian jobs, all the while helping us fight climate change. Together with provinces, Canada's allies, industry, and organizations like the Canadian Hydrogen Association, Canada will succeed from this enormous economic opportunity. Canada is making strides with the National Hydrogen Strategy, Hydrogen Investment Tax Credits, and Bill C-49, the Atlantic Accords Amendments Act. By leveraging our world-class offshore wind resources, we're positioning ourselves as a leading clean energy supplier while boosting our economy and creating thousands of jobs. This summer, I witnessed a game changer at Canada's first operational fuel station for Class 8 hydrogen trucks. Thanks to ITD Industries.
He's a liberal. He's lying.
They're transforming the truck.
He's a liberal Democrat. He's a liar.
An impressive range of over 800 kilometers, and best of all, zero emissions. Mr. Speaker, let's all embrace the hydrogen opportunity. It's both a win for Canada's economy and our environment. Thank you.
So live.
The honourable member from South Okanagan, West Kootenay.
Mr. Speaker, the third State of Canada's birds report was released today by Birds Canada and Environment Canada. Birds are literally the canaries in the coal mine for our environmental health, and previous reports in 2012 and 2019 raised some serious red flags. Today's report shows that some of those concerns are getting worse. For instance, grassland birds have declined by 2/3 since 1970, so something is clearly going wrong in our grasslands.
Before I continue, there's this shooting that happened in Toronto. I'm going to show you the after effect. Here, take a look. There was a car flipped over. They were pulling out the blickies and chasing them, and they flipped over their car trying to get away. But hey, everything's all good up here in the north. Yeah, I don't think so. We played that. I played that. Here's some more. Look, they're chanting "Death to Canada." Look.
Death to Canada.
Look what they're doing. Look what the fuck, bro. They're literally chanting "Death to my country." I am a Canadian patriot. I am 36 years of age. Growing up, I've never seen any of this. Now they're chanting "Death to my country." And people just don't want to read. They just don't want to open their eyes to see. Look.
To the United States.
and to the United States? Why would you say this? And if you're chanting this, what? So they basically want communism. They don't want capitalism. They don't want an open market. They're trying to destroy capital. Oh my God, they're trying to destroy capitalism, bro. Literally doing this. I'm not in their death cult. No, thank you. No, thank you. Nope.
Death to Canada.
Nope.
Death to the United States.
No.
Death to Israel.
So this is what I gotta fight up against. And it's gonna come to a head, right? They don't just hate Israel, they don't just hate Jews, they hate all Western civilization. Here are the folks at the October 7th vigil in Vancouver chanting death to Canada, and they are cheered for that. Enough. This ends now. Stand up to this. I've been standing up to it for a long time. I'm gonna repost that one. Death to Canada? Why would you say that? These guys are. I'm trying my best not to cuss, man. But anyway, here's another one here. It says at Pierre, the violence is increasing in community on Parliament Hills, taking over streets, parks, universities, etc., now burning Canadian flag, declaring themselves Hamas, Hezbollah, chanting death to Canada. Please, this needs to be handled now. It won't. It's only going to get worse. Look what they're doing. Right? These guys, these radical, far leftists, manipulated fools, they're literally damaging property. If I, as a Black Canadian man, went out in the streets right now, if I logged off, and I went to the government building right now and damaged the fucking window, they would arrest me. They'd put me in jail. But because these guys hide their identity with face masks and the café, they don't charge them. This is crazy. If I did this, they would charge me. I would be in jail if I did that. I'd literally be locked up, bro. Look what he's doing. What the fuck, bro? Okay. Anyway, I digress, man. They would lock me up so fast. Look what he's doing. And they're cheering for it. Look, it's a woman doing it. Look, so the man is doing it. The man is smashing the windows. Now the woman wants to join in. Watch. Remember, they're hiding their identity. Look, she has a fucking face mask on. Outside. Face mask on outside. Right? Now she's going to come over and do the same thing. Look. Oh my God, bro. They can't think for themselves. What a bunch of cogs in a machine. They are literally rusty cogs of life. Rusty cogs. It's crazy.
And drywall on the walls and fluorescent lighting ahead of you and no privacy at all. What's the message? The message is really clear. You mean nothing. You are replaceable. You are a widget in a bin awaiting assembly. You're just a cog in a machine. You have no value.
Cogs in a machine. Can't believe it, man. So if I see somebody smashing windows, hey, I'm going to go smash windows too. He got away with it without being charged, so I'll just do it too. Nope, can't be around them. Can't talk to them. Here's some, where did he play that? Here's some more of them. Look.
Burn.
You burning my flag? This is why I can't go to these things, because I would be fighting these guys. If anything, I'd have to bring like some family members and then some security to send a message to them. But you burning my flag, you're never going to be my friend. I would never respect you. I would never shake your hand. If you need help in oxygen and blood, I wouldn't donate to you. burning my fucking flag. I grew up in Canada. I have birthright citizenship. If you don't like it, that's not my problem. That's your fucking problem. You come over from another fucking country and you come over here trying to cause chaos. You don't assimilate to the country. Come on, man. This is crazy shit. Look at that, bro. That image shows you, bro, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to get into my emotions too much with it. You burn the Canadian flag and hide your identity? Hide your identity so nobody can recognize you and see you in real life? Where you're working at? What your online profile is? People could recognize you at the bank, gas station, grocery store, but you hide your identity because you're a bunch of fucking cowards. Because that's how y'all live. Y'all been living like that your whole life. And when people like myself and other people stand up and say, no, we're not going to go for it. We actually disagree with your ideology. We disagree with your points of view and your belief system. Your belief system doesn't make sense. It's not logical. You have no critical thinking muscles in your mind, in your memory. You like being told what to think, what to do, and what to believe. That's not me.
Israel, burn, burn. Palestinians will return.
Right? You can do. Oh man, listen. Anyway, I digress. I digress from it. Right? This was in Toronto. I don't respect them. Anyway, let's go to the question period. Because if I keep watching, I'm going to get more pissed off. So I'll just continue on.
But these reports also show that what's going wrong, and we have the political will to fix it.
No, you don't.
See dramatically positive results.
No, you don't.
Hawks, Eagles, Falcons have increased by a third since 1970 because we banned DDT. Waterfowl have also increased because we started conserving their habitats. We know all this about bird populations because of the thousands of talented volunteers who go out every day to count birds. These citizen scientists have given us an incredibly powerful measure of the health of our forests, grasslands, and waters. Thank you.
The Honourable Member Longueuil Saint-Hubert. Mr. Speaker, on October 18th, we'll be underscoring the Night of the Homeless. Once again, we will get together to lift the veil on this reality that affects too many people. This year's theme is the 100 Faces of Homelessness, which highlights the different backgrounds, paths, and human beings that are hidden behind this misunderstood word. There is no one facet of homelessness. It can be a young person who ran away from an unstable home, an isolated elderly person who has been forgotten by society, a vulnerable worker who can't make ends meet, or someone suffering from mental health or addiction. Behind each glance, there is a human being with dreams, hopes, and a will to find meaning in life.
And they have not done any of that.
The Night of the Homeless is more than an event. It's a reminder of our collective responsibility because behind each face, there is a real person, a story that deserves to be heard, respected, and supported. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Wellington, Halton Hills.
Mr. Speaker, the evidence is clear.
It is.
Sammy Doon, also known as the Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network, is knowingly acting on behalf of, at the direction of, and in association with at least one listed terrorist entity under the criminal code, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. Sammy Doon is based in Canada and incorporated as a not-for-profit under the Canada Not-for-Profit Corporations Act. Other jurisdictions have taken action. Germany and Israel have listed Sammy Doon as a terrorist entity, and the European Union has banned them from entry. The Liberal government needs to take terrorism seriously, needs to take anti-Semitism seriously, needs to take the evidence seriously, and list Sammy Doon as an entity under the Criminal Code of Canada for terrorism.
No, they won't.
The honourable member from Northwest Territories.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to welcome the members of the Northwest Territories Council of Leaders to Ottawa this week. This collaboration
He's another liberal. Look at him.
Indigenous governments is a forum for cooperation and collaboration on shared priorities. While these leaders represent different levels of government and different regions, they are coming together for the same reason, to build a better future for northern communities. This council is meeting with federal ministers and officials in Ottawa to highlight and advocate for the interests of NBTers. These include advancing reconciliation and modern treaties.
What's going on, astronaut? No, Trudeau never showed up to work today. Astronaut said, no, he didn't show up. Crazy, right?
Our environment while sustainably developing.
Could you imagine Canadians' tax dollars pays for Justin Trudeau's salary, and he doesn't even show up for work? He doesn't even do his job? Come on, man.
Developing our economy and building necessary infrastructure like the Mackenzie Valley Highway. Again, welcome to the council leaders, and I look forward to their continued progress in advancing northern priorities. Thank you. Message from Mr. Speaker.
Oral questions. Questions orales. L'honorable
The honourable member.
Thornhill.
$100 million Liberal scandal has paralyzed Parliament for a week. Mr. Speaker, you yourself ruled that the NDP Liberals have violated a House order to turn over evidence to the police.
So if the Liberal government can violate orders to turn over evidence to the RCMP, that means the Canadian government is illegitimate, man. There is no laws up here. The federal government is asked to hand over fucking documents, and they're not doing this. This is crazy. I never thought that I would say that.
For a criminal investigation into their corruption. They
won't even hand over documents into their corruption. Oh, man. It's so crazy.
$100 million Liberal scandal has paralyzed Parliament for a week. Mr. Speaker, you yourself ruled that the NDP Liberals have violated a House order to turn over evidence to the police for a criminal investigation into their corruption. They are defying your ruling, and they have grinded this place to a halt.
They grinded the House of Commons to a halt because they're so corrupt and they won't do the right thing? Wow.
Auditor said that there's 400 million tax dollars and 186 conflicts of interest in questions. Canadians can get accountability today if they hand over the documents to the police. So what's in those documents and how bad is it?
Yeah. Wow. The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I want to start.
This guy's the biggest clown. He's another liberal. He's another liberal, bro. Yo, FHVKBD, what's going on, family? Yeah, if you want a wrench, just hit the donation button. I'll give you guys a wrench if you want to get a wrench. You can be a moderator. You said Canada politics here, but like the United States, got it. Basically, I'm glad that you see that now. I'm glad, I try to mix and match with the kind of content that I'm making. But at least Americans on my channel get to see the corruption up here in Canada. So you got Canada corruption, you got America corruption. So it's all the G7 countries, the Western countries. It's World War III, basically. Political warfare, man. Anyway, I digress.
Start by noting the events in Vancouver yesterday at a protest.
Transform your company into a...
Oh, we got an ad here. Yeah, it's bad, man. All right, let's go back. I don't know what happened. Skipped ahead. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I got to get you some volume.
Of the member for Gatineau.
Hold on.
As in to turn his back on the 65 to 74 age group. All he's done is play petty politics when it's time to step up to the plate.
Canadian flag and to change.
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I want to start by noting the events in Vancouver yesterday at a protest.
Right. These events where they were burning the Canadian flag and saying death to Canada and death to America.
We unequivocally condemn those events and those actions.
Oh, now you're condemning. Okay, that's good. Still liberal. Still wouldn't vote for you.
It is absolutely unacceptable to burn the Canadian flag and to chant "Death to Canada."
Well, have I not been literally saying this for the last like half an hour? They don't like this country, guys. If you're a Canadian or American, you got to deal with. I'm pretty sure that you have to build coalition and friendships with people that love the country that you're in, and that are patriotic, that put the country first, that put believe in God, that kind of thing. Believe in a higher power other than themselves. That's how you build friendships. You can't build friendships that are hateful people, man. And so now, hey, that's who they are.
It is also unacceptable to deny and celebrate the events of October 7th and to champion the acts of a terrorist group. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member from Thornhill.
Glad that they found the courage to condemn something in this House, but
Right, because they're cowards.
whatever is in those documents, back to the matter at hand that I asked about, must be really bad if they're willing to hide the corruption. Months ago, the Auditor General found that the Liberal appointees gave nearly 400 million tax dollars to their own companies, 186
Damn.
conflict of interest. I'll ask
Damn.
again for the 7th day in a row, will the NDP Liberals end the cover-up, give proof to the police so we can get accountability for the corruption and get Parliament back to work?
The honourable leader of the government in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's important I read your ruling into the.
I can't stand this liberal woman. This woman here is the definition of like the white liberal woman that like she just doesn't understand anything. Give her a script and she'll read it. She doesn't ask questions. Just tell her what to do. She does it. Just listen.
The record because the Conservatives didn't hear it the first time. The chair, that's you, Mr. Speaker, is of the view that it would be valuable to afford an opportunity for the concerns expressed by the RCMP as well as by the Auditor General to be addressed fully.
Give
and
her
I
a
would
script.
hope for
Let her
a
read.
mutually satisfactory solution to be arrived at. I believe the best way for this to be achieved would be to follow the usual course for a prima facie question of privilege, that is a referral to the Standing Committee on Procedure and House Affairs. We're ready to send this matter to committee. When will the Conservatives do that?
Just going to ask all members, please, not to take the floor unless they've been recognized by the chair. The honourable member from Thornhill.
Mr. Speaker, the House leader missed the part where you told them that they're holding this House in contempt. If there is nothing to hide in those documents, then they should be able to hand them over. $400 million to Liberal friends, 186 conflicts of interest from a government that knows really well what a conflict of interest is, all while a record number of Canadians can't afford to eat. How bad?
Did you guys hear that? A record number of Canadians can't afford to eat. That's how bad it is up here in the north. And so now if you go onto a dating app and you say, hey, yo, is everything all good? They say, yeah, everything's fine. They're stuck in a realm, bro.
Are these documents that they would hold this place up for 7 days, defying your order, and to hide the $400 million that they gave to their friends? Yeah.
Crazy.
The honourable leader of the government in the House of Commons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're ready for this matter to move on to the procedure.
Oh, I can't stand these liberal
The only party
social
that doesn't
justice
want that to
warriors.
happen are the Conservatives. They're trying to spin out of their own obstruction because they don't want this to go to committee, because what they will hear is expert after expert talking about the egregious abuse of power that the Conservatives are trying to do in this place to override the rights of Canadians. We're ready to move forward, Mr. Speaker. It's only the Conservatives that are afraid of a vote. Thank you.
The honourable member for Charlesbourg, Haute-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, in La Presse today, Surgeon Vincent Moore of the Montreal Police Eclipse Squad deplores the fact that gang members are using firearms without fear of consequences. He says, It's gone completely crazy. I've never seen anything like it in my 18-year career. Nowadays,
Damn.
it's not uncommon for someone to be arrested and they say, well, it doesn't matter because they'll let me off with just a piece of paper and I'll do it again. They're no longer afraid of being arrested by the police because they know there'll be no consequences. Why have this PM in the bloc allowed criminals to rule our communities? The Honorable Minister of Justice. I appreciate the question because it gives me the opportunity to underscore what we've done. With respect to firearms, we've invested roughly $400 million against guns and gangs. Was the Conservatives, like the member across the way, voted against? With respect to administration of justice, yes, there is an issue with bail conditions. When we look at bail, we have to verify if the Crown is contesting it, if there's enough room in detention centers. It's a good question to speak to Legault about. The Honourable Minister for member rather for Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Justice has blamed the Quebec Premier on 2 times for something they changed, that the federal government changed, and that's why this legislation is causing so much issues in Quebec. And the Sergeant Guiguerre of Montreal Police said that people are saying before this ruling, people on the street would tell us they didn't want to go to jail for long, but now they're getting arrested for guns, and soon after they're back on the street. Why is the government not changing its laws? Because
crazy, man.
Bury it at committee while Conservatives want to make sure
powers of this place override the rights of Canadians and get rid of police independence. Mr. Speaker, that's not acceptable.
The honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Look, this is a case of $400 million and 186 conflicts of interest that are benefiting Liberal insiders lining their pockets while Canadians are lined up at food banks. The response from the government to a parliamentary order to produce the documents is, first of all, to break the order so that they can bury it at committee while Conservatives want to make sure that this corruption, this scandal sees the full daylight that it's deserved and a referral to Canada's Royal Canadian Mounted Police so they can decide to take a criminal investigation. Oh, wait, we've learned that they are already investigating the latest corruption with these Liberals. Will they turn over the documents today?
The honourable leader of the government in the House of Commons.
Nope, they won't do it.
Your ruling was very clear. Send this to committee. There's only one group of MPs
Oh, I can't
that are
stand her,
afraid
man.
of that going to committee. And we are prepared to vote on that, Mr. Speaker. Let's send it to committee. Let's have that debate. The only group of MPs that are obstructing their own
Is the
obstruction,
Conservatives.
they don't actually want to help Canadians.
Right,
All
they don't
want
wanna
to
help.
serve themselves and their own partisan
No,
interests.
that's you.
Mr. Speaker, let's get this out of the House. Let's get it to committee so that we can get back to the important work of serving Canadians. Thank you.
You haven't been doing that for 9 years. What are you talking about, Willis?
The honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes.
She says she wants to get it out of the House. She wants to get it out of the sunlight, the daylight. They want to bury it at committee. They don't want Canadians to know about the latest example of Liberal corruption. We see that
There you
conflicts
go.
of interest are very common over there. That Prime
This is why I'm going to show the audience the latest Liberal corruption.
Minister broke the law twice. The Public Safety Minister broke the law. The Trade
So if they're going to break the law and they're the figureheads of the government, they can't charge me for breaking the law, right? They can't charge y'all out there for breaking the law if they're doing it themselves, correct? Is that right though? Like, did I get that wrong? They're violating the Constitution. They're violating the laws. So that means the laws don't apply to me. Is that what it is? Because I'm confused. Let's play that again.
Of that going to committee. And we
Okay,
are prepared
Florence
to
is
vote
correct.
on that,
Okay,
Mr.
man.
Speaker. Let's send it
Government
to
in
committee.
Canada is
Let's have
illegitimate,
that
man.
debate.
That's it.
The only group of MPs that are
We know this. I know
obstructing
this.
their own obstruction because they don't
It's
actually
amazing.
want to help Canadians. All they want to do is serve themselves and their own partisan interests. Mr. Speaker, let's get this out of the House. Let's get it to committee so that we can get back to the important work of serving Canadians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes.
She says she wants to get it out of the House. She wants to get it out of the sunlight, the daylight. They want to bury it at committee. They don't want Canadians to know about the latest example of Liberal corruption. We see that conflicts of interest are very common over there. That Prime Minister broke the law twice. The Public Safety Minister broke the law. The Trade Minister broke.
So Justin Trudeau broke the law twice, did he? Okay. All right.
The law. The Liberal appointed chair of this Green Slush Fund broke the law. Every time these Liberals get a chance, they enrich their friends. They want to hide it from Canadians. Conservatives.
You see what do you see what they're doing now? Right? It's about enriching their friends and hiding it from us. You guys get it now? Because they've been doing this for 9 years.
To get it out of the House. She wants to get it out of the sunlight, the daylight. They want to bury it at committee. They don't want Canadians to know about the latest example of Liberal corruption. We see that conflicts of interest are very common over there. That Prime Minister broke the law twice. The Public Safety Minister broke the law. The Trade Minister broke the law. The Liberal appointed chair of this Green Slush Fund broke the law. Every time these Liberals get a chance, they enrich their friends. They want to hide it from Canadians. Conservatives want to get the truth. We want to get accountability. And we want Parliament to be able to get back to work for Canadians. Will they turn over the documents today?
Nope, they won't do it, man. Not gonna do it.
Order. Order. The honourable member from the Honourable Minister of Innovation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We already have the bloc, but now we learn we have the blocker in chief, the Conservative, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, yeah, it's
How
always them,
ridiculous
right?
for Canadians watching at home. They are blocking their own motion, Mr. Speaker. Can you imagine that?
No, I don't believe you,
The
bro.
Conservative are blocking their own motion. Mr. Speaker, we know the
I
Conservative
don't believe
know how
you.
to count to 6, so let me explain to them.
I don't
There's
believe
not
him,
been
no.
one report. There's
Nope.
not been 2 reports. There's not been 3 reports. There's been 4 independent reports, Mr. Speaker, to go to the bottom of this, Mr. Speaker. We got to the bottom of
He's a
this.
liar.
Let's get
I don't
back to
believe
working
him.
and
Not
expect
in
better
the
from all of us.
littlest. I don't believe a word he said. No, I don't. Nope.
Order, please.
I actually like the Andrew Scheer guy. He's actually pretty
The honourable
cool.
member for Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr.
Told you, I'm never
Speaker,
going to vote
according
Democrat
to
ever
one
in life.
senior civil servant,
Ever.
there's a lot of negligence and laziness, and there's also sheer incompetence, and the situation is simply unsustainable.
Have I not
And
been saying, Turan, have I not been saying that? That it's unsustainable what's going on? Have I not been saying this to y'all for like 4 years? Listen to what he's saying. He's saying it in French, but listen to him. Listen. It's crazy. Being proven right again.
The honourable member for
There you go.
Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, according to one senior civil servant, there's a lot of negligence and laziness, and there's also sheer incompetence, and the situation is simply unsustainable.
There you go.
And the SDTC activities are almost on the level of the sponsorship scandal when it comes to the allocation of funds. Canadians' tax dollars are being squandered without consideration, and nothing's being done.
Right? Oh man. Canadians' tax dollars are being squandered without consideration. Who the fuck would vote for this? They have destroyed my country. This is amazing, ain't it? I can't believe it, man.
The SDTC activities are almost on the level of the sponsorship scandal when it comes to the allocation of funds. Canadians' tax dollars are being squandered without consideration, and nothing's being done on the other side of the House to remedy the situation. Will this Liberal government deal with this scandal as quickly as possible?
Nope, they won't do it, man.
The
They're not gonna
Honourable
do it.
Minister of Innovation. Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives are waking up. As if this was news. We took action quickly and decisively, Mr. Speaker. Not only was there one report, there were 4 presented.
What?
2 by a national law firm and others. We investigated, we took action, and it is time, Mr. Speaker, for this Parliament to resume its work in the interest of all Canadians. Thank you. The Honourable Minister for Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, in the Green Slush Fund scandal, the government is openly refusing to provide the documents required for the RCMP to investigate corruption at SDT.
the Canadian government is refusing to give the RCMP documents because they're being investigated. Could you imagine? That's a real thing in 2024. I can't believe it.
At
I cannot, man.
SDTC, where the Liberals allowed their friends to benefit from taxpayers' dollars, as uncovered by the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker.
Wow, they're trying to use us as pawns and slaves, basically. That's why, guys, you have to outsmart these cocksuckers. You got to do your best to outsmart them. Again, I would never vote for Liberal or Democrat, ever.
For Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, in the green slush fund scandal, the government is openly refusing to provide the documents required for the RCMP to investigate corruption at SDTC, where the Liberals allowed their friends to benefit from taxpayers' dollars, as uncovered by the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, will the Liberals put an end to the cover-ups and provide the police with the evidence so that the Parliament can work in the interest of all Canadians?
Been asking that for a while, man.
The Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Let's be very clear. My colleague has already clearly explained this, but since we're talking about the RCMP, allow me to provide a comment from the Commissioner. I'd like to underscore that the RCMP is operationally independent and it respects the independence of the police force. This principle guarantees that the government cannot direct or influence the enforcement of law, and that includes members of this House.
Nothing burger.
The Honourable Member for Shefford. All age groups, 79% of the population are in favor of increasing old age security.
Okay, so my dad is 71, my mom is 66. Okay, so they are seniors. So 79% of Canadians are in favor of increasing the pension that they get, like increasing that money. I'm in favor of it too, by the way, because I have my mom and dad are seniors. So I'm in favor of it. So what are they doing? Let's listen.
79%. Regardless
79%,
of age.
80%
You don't have
chip.
to be between 65 and 74. Everyone agrees. Why is that? Because people respect their elders, because the world shows solidarity. And if we can improve the living conditions of those who need it, well, we're all for it. Even in the chamber, we agree, except the Liberals. When will they listen to reason, show they have a heart, and give C319 royal recommendation?
They don't have a heart. They won't listen to reason. And they're corrupt. We know.
The Honourable Minister of Employment and Seniors. Mr. Speaker, the Bloc has never taken one opportunity to support seniors. In terms of the GIS, they voted against it. For dental care.
Dental care?
That 14,000 people from Shefford had benefited from as of today. The Bloc voted against it. For all the housing measures for seniors, the Bloc was against it. When will they say yes to our seniors, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Member for Shefford. Since he was appointed Minister of Seniors, the only achievement of the member for Gatineau has been to turn his back on the 65 to 74 age group. All he's done is play petty politics when it's time to step up to the plate. He's promoting liberal interests when it's time to think of our collective interest. An old-fashioned politician with no sense of state. It's not too late. He can still act for the common good. Will the minister finally get his act together, drop the partisanship, and give C319 the royal recommendation?
We'll do it.
The Honourable Minister of Employment and Seniors. Mr. Speaker, my track record for seniors and all the Liberals from Quebec members, all our achievements, well, we could compare the two, what they've done at the Bloc. They voted against dental care. They voted against the increase in GIS. They voted against for housing investment for seniors. Every time we made a proposal to help Quebec seniors, the VOC rose together against them. The 35 Quebec Liberals from members from Quebec always voted for these measures. The honourable member for Shefford. What's more, the minister offers conspiracy theories to explain why he's no intention of doing anything for seniors. The big bad separatists are preparing a secret plan so you don't get your pensions. Ooh. Old fear-mongering from the 80s. He's talking about winning conditions and independence. So are we.
That's what they
think
do.
that
They
improving
scare,
seniors'
they try to scare
living
people.
conditions is a win-win situation, and it helps ensure their independence. Instead of scaring people, can the minister get to work for people and give C319 its royal recommendation?
There you go.
The Honourable Minister of Employment and Seniors.
He pulled his card.
I'd like to tell you, Mr. Speaker.
He goaded him.
What seniors are afraid
Goaded
of.
him.
They're afraid of having their dental care removed. That
Lord.
Thousands of seniors, millions of Canadians have benefited from. And they're wondering, these seniors in Gatineau especially, what the Bloc is doing with the Conservatives in terms of austerity, cutting daycare spots, cutting dental care, cutting health care. The Bloc and the Conservatives, that's the real risk for our seniors and Canadians.
Yeah, the honourable member from South Shore, St. Margaret's.
There is so much Liberal corruption that they're covering up their cover-up of the $400 million corruption of the Liberal Green Slush Fund. The Speaker ruled that the NDP Liberals violated a House order to turn the Green Slush Fund documents over to the RCMP for investigation.
They're so corrupt, man. Man, it just shows, man.
How much worse is the corruption that the NDP Liberals are refusing to respect the order of the Speaker?
Exactly.
Pushing aside all the work of doubling the housing costs that the Liberals have done, inflation and crime. We can get back to the business of this House if the NDP Liberals just end the cover-up and turn the documents over to the ICMP.
Why can't they turn the documents over? Just turn it over and show us. Because they throw rocks, hide their hands. They don't have any policies for the average Canadian. They have no policies. They're lying about policy. They have destroyed this country, man.
Won't they?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
No, Mr. Speaker,
Here she is again, look.
They can at least try and get it right. But the fact of the matter is,
right? Do you hear that? You hear them moaning like, oh, she's saying the same talking points like Kamala.
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
no, Mr. Speaker, if we're going to be mansplained to, they can at least try and get it right.
Oh,
But
look what
the
she
fact
said.
of the
Right? Because she's a feminist, bro. Because a man, see, as soon as a man starts speaking and stands on principle and shows some masculinity, right? She calls it mansplaining. Listen to her.
This House, if the NDP Liberals just end the cover-up and
Mansplaining?
turn the documents over to the ICMP. Why?
You're
won't they?
womansplaining.
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
no, Mr. Speaker, if we're going to be mansplained to, they can at least try and get it right. But
Oh, if we're going to be mansplained to, at least we got to get it right. She's the pro-feminist. She hates men. Because, you know what I mean? Like, she just hates men. We know that. A man is talking. I mean, the gender divide in this country in America is amazing, ain't it?
the fact of the matter is that
Amazing.
you ruled very clearly that this
Mansplaining.
matter should go to the House committee. If
I hope he
members
responds, too.
would like to read your full ruling, they can go do that, or I can table it in the House for them to read.
can't
But I
stand
would
them.
encourage them to not just cherry pick parts of your ruling, but to actually follow it as opposed to what they're doing. We're happy for this matter to move on, for it to go to committee, for it to be studied.
Yeah,
It's only
right.
the Conservatives that are holding this place up. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, it's always the
Honourable
conservative,
Member
ain't
from
it?
South Shore, St. Margaret's.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Every time.
Look, he's okay. You heard what she said, right? You heard her say that it was mansplaining. He's going to respond, and I'm waiting for his response. You guys ready for him? I don't think you're ready for him. Okay? Let's hear it.
Actually follow it as opposed to what
Let's hear
they're
his
doing.
response.
We're
I
happy
can't
for
wait.
this matter to move on, for it to go to committee, for it to be studied. It's only the Conservatives that are holding this place
Oh,
up.
I can't wait.
Honourable Member from South Shore, St. Margaret's.
Let's go.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Every time I meet with a Liberal, I have to check for my wallet. And they just took $400 million of taxpayer money and funneled it to Liberals in the green slush fund. Why are they ignoring an order of this House? Why are they preventing us from getting to the business of the House, since they won't turn over the documents to the RCMP? If the Prime Minister won't end the cover-up, we'll at least call a carbon tax election so Canadians can get the green slush fund money back.
There you go. There you go, masterfully. That's right.
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, every time I meet a conservative, I have to search for some semblance of reason. When we talk about what's going on here, let's think about why your ruling said send it back to the committees, Mr. Speaker. Your ruling said that because this has never been done. Because you know what happens normally when you ask for documents in your law enforcement? You go to a court of law. You don't go into a partisan arena such as the House of Commons, because a court of law, a judge weighs things called charter interests, like your expectation of privacy, like your right to be free from unreasonable search and seizure. Those are important considerations. We will stand by them every time.
Man, these guys are crooked, man.
The honourable member from Brantford Grant.
Mr. Speaker, the latest $400 million scandal from this Liberal government has paralyzed Parliament. The Auditor General found 186 conflicts of interest, with close to $400 million handed out to corrupt Liberal insiders. All the time when Canadians cannot afford to eat, heat, or house themselves.
Could you imagine that is the reality on the ground? They can't eat, heat, or what is it? They can't house themselves. They can't eat or heat themselves. And winter is, as Kevin Samuel says, winter is coming. Winter is coming. It is here. It's finally here. $400 million worth of your corruption. And they have the nerve to look me in my face and tell me everything is all good. They're fucking insane, man. They have this. Matter of fact, I'm just going to show you one thing by Elon Musk before we continue. Because it's a machine. It's a democratic machine. It's fucking crazy, man. The democratic machine is dangerous, man. They are the threat to democracy. That's who they are. Let's play it.
I'm fucked. If we lose, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like, yo,
I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think? Well, I deleted, which is like nobody's even bothering to try to kill Kamala because it's pointless. What do you achieve? Nothing.
No, it's totally
just
right.
another puppet.
Exactly. That's
puppets.
It's no point in killing.
It's deep and true, though.
Nobody's trying to kill Joe Biden.
It
would be pointless.
Totally. You actually put that up?
Yeah. Now, some people interpreted it as though I was calling for people to assassinate her, but I was like, no, even I was like, doesn't it seem strange that no one's even bothered to try?
This is the world's richest man talking.
I mean, there's an endless supply.
And like nobody would. It's absurd.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna try to. Nobody tries to assassinate a puppet.
Of course not.
A this is the world's richest man saying Kamala Harris and the Democrat machine is puppetry. And
well, she's safe. Like, I like to try to kill Trump twice with actual guns and bullets. Shot in the air right in fucking Butler where I was, and
he doesn't seem rattled. It's weird
because it's fight, fight, fight. He's a masculine man. Trump has courage. He stands on his square. Might not like his personality, but does he have good policies? Yes, he does.
Does he to you?
This doesn't seem what?
Rattled.
He doesn't get rattled.
He's the constitution of an ox. It seems.
He doesn't get rattled.
It's not like working out and eating healthy. And he's
okay. We gotta tape this,
right? Most masculine men are conservative. Most men that are men. They show masculinity are conservative. Low testosterone, feminized, weak-minded, corrupt-minded, one-dimensional thinkers are low T Democrat men. That's what they are. Let's continue.
Oh, good. So
he's not like, let me eat another salad. That's not. No, or work out, fastidiously. That's he. I feel like how he doesn't work out, and he eats, cheeseburgers and Diet Coke and stuff, and because I think it just inherently has a strong constitution.
So, and you were just with him. He didn't seem like a man who'd been the subject of 2 assassination attempts.
No, he seemed of sound mind and body and strong backbone.
Did you?
That's what I said in the thing. Which,
yeah.
The remarks I made there were impromptu. There was no teleprompter or anything. I was speaking extemporaneously.
Are you the only rich guy who doesn't have like a media consultant?
No, I don't. Media consultant.
Yeah, no, I've noticed.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No, I just thought about what I want to say, and I just spoke off the cuff. No teleprompter, nothing.
There you go. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't have a script.
Like now, I'm just talking. Look at me.
That's
wow,
it.
Amazing.
Can you believe it?
I can talk without a teleprompter. That's crazy.
But if he loses, it's going to be hard for you to pretend you never supported him.
All in. In the deep end.
Yeah, no, you are definitely in the deep end. You cannot touch bottom.
I want to go back to the
no.
Hold on.
Broadband.
Yes.
Okay. We that the Democrats, the Dem machine,
are thinking.
You guys want to know what the truth is? Here's the truth. It's called the Democratic machine. Let's listen to it.
Yeah. So. My view is that if Trump doesn't win this election, it's the last election we're going to have.
Did you hear what he said? It's going to be the last one.
That the Democrats, the Dem machine,
right? It's the Democratic machine. They lie, cheat, steal taxpayer money. They're not for you. They don't care about the birthright citizens of the country. Let's continue.
Has been importing so many people, bringing in so many illegals.
Think about what I'm just not going to stop talking.
Flying in with this like CBP border app thing that nobody even knew about, like secret program. That's illegal, basically. It's illegal, but there's no action by DOJ to actually to stop it from happening. They're transporting large numbers of illegals to swing states. If you look at the numbers, these are the numbers from the government website. So like from the Democrat-administered government websites. Like, where do you get this data? From the government website that is run by Democrats.
Right.
And there are triple-digit increases in illegals to all the swing states. And
Crazy.
in some cases, it's like 700% over the last 3 years. Now, these swing state margins are, sometimes 10, 20,000 votes. So what happens if you put,
what happens?
Hundreds of thousands of people.
What happens
into each swing state? And when somebody is granted asylum, they are fast tracked. They can get a green card, and then 5 years after the green card, they can get citizenship, and they can fully legally vote. And when they do so, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat.
There it is.
And sometimes I get this rebuttal of like, well, a lot of them, their social values don't align with sort of the far left sort of woke ideology. I said, that's true, but that's not their top priority. Their top priority is getting their friends and family also to the United States. And the Dems also issue all these programs, these sort of
social
handouts,
programs,
essentially, that make them beholden to the Democratic Party.
That's what they do.
So they vote Dem.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Yep.
So my prediction is, if there's another 4 years of a Dem administration, they will legalize so many illegals that are there that the next election there won't be any swing states.
There you go.
And we'll be a single party country.
Yep.
Just like California is a single party state.
Yep.
It's a supermajority Dem state in California.
Yep.
because of immigration.
Yes, California was
Republican,
fairly reliably Republican.
Bill Clinton lost California in '92 and won West Virginia.
Yes. So there was a 1986 amnesty.
Yes.
Thereafter, California trended very strongly Dem, and is at this point, I think, 65-70% Dem, something like that. It's supermajority Dem. The California legislature is more than 2/3 Democrat.
Has it improved the state?
No.
No improvements.
It's not. And California just passed, which is shocking. It's hard to believe this is even real. But California just passed a law making it illegal to require voter ID in any election at all in California.
This is the policy.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Newsom signed it into law last week.
There's this
illegal to require.
Okay, there's this thing, right? I just got to say this, right? When Elon Musk, the world's richest man that does have children, when he tells modern women they should have children, maybe that's the reason why they're so unhappy. I just lose my marbles.
An ID.
I'm in shock that he said this. We got to find where it says. Hold on. I got to get to where it is. Why is there so many anti-human messaging? Yeah, well, it's true. Okay, so I think it's 108. Okay, so let's go to 108. I'm going to do a reaction video to this maybe later. Okay, let's listen.
But then they're like, what does that mean? And it's like, oh, that's the answer. But the question is the really hard part, and you'll need a much bigger computer than Earth to figure that one out.
Pretty committed to making fewer Americans.
Yeah,
there's a lot of anti-fertility propaganda. Pretty committed.
Okay, so Elon Musk, the world's richest man, has a message for modern women. Let's listen to his message.
Committed to making fewer Americans.
Yeah,
there's a lot of anti-fertility propaganda.
A lot.
Actually, that seems like their main sort of domestic social policy is convincing you not to have kids. What is that?
They don't want you to have kids. Turan and audience, they don't want you to have children. They don't want you to be with a woman. They don't want you to have sex with women. They're trying to replace the reproductive. They're trying to replace reproductive, like a human's reproductive function. They're trying to replace all of that. The tradition of reproduction, they're trying to replace it.
I mean, that's certainly part of civilizational suicide. The environmental movement in the extreme is fundamentally misanthropic and anti-human.
Yes.
They start seeing humans as a plague, a blight on the surface of the earth. That if that earth would be this paradise if only the humans weren't here. And some people actually say this explicitly. There's the extinctionist society that is literally this guy who's the head of the Extinctionist Society was on the front page of the New York Times, quoted as saying, there are 8 billion people in the world, it would be better if there were none. So there's some people who actually say that explicitly, which is completely insane. He's advocating a Holocaust for all of humanity. To utter madness, he should be condemned for such a statement, but he wasn't for some reason. Now, most people on the sort of environmental movement have that implicitly. They don't realize that they have that as their optimization, but that is their actions take us towards extinction. So a lot of people believe that the Earth can't sustain this level of human population, which is utterly untrue.
Oh, more lies.
It may seem in a crowded city that there are a lot of people, but actually, if you look down on an airplane and you say, look down, am I over a person at any given point in time when you're in an airplane? The answer is 99.9% of the time, no. Like if you flew from LA to New York and say your job is to drop a ball on someone and hit them, you would fail.
You have to drop a lot of balls.
You have to drop a lot of balls. It would be insane. So all of the humans on Earth can fit on one floor in the city of New York. Yeah, the cross-sectional area of all humans, 8 billion humans, is small. So we have this totally wrong idea that the Earth is overpopulated, where in fact it is underpopulated.
Natalist policy.
Here we go.
First of all, I changed the education system so that people understand that stop being taught that we're overpopulated. This is completely false. A lot of it comes from this insane misanthropic book that Paul Ehrlich wrote, The Population Bomb.
Like 60 years ago.
Yeah, I hope he burns in hell, that guy. Seriously. Terrible human being. Total, absolute misanthrope. And say, just look, the Earth can absolutely sustain this population. We could double or triple the population. There's a professor I was talking to at Oxford, his math says we could 10x the population without destroying the Amazon rainforest or anything terrible. So, so I think we should expand the human population and increase the scope and scale of consciousness so we can better understand the nature of this universe, this wonderful universe, and all the amazing things that exist. And so that's one of the things we need to stop teaching people false propaganda that the Earth is overpopulated.
Right, false propaganda.
I think we need to, especially with the education of women and men, we need to stop scaring women that having a kid.
Right, here we go. The mainstream media, the indoctrination into universities, colleges, are scaring women into not having children. That's why there is no dating market today in 2024. That's why there's dating apps. That's why there's this. That's why there's that. Let's continue.
Destroys your life. This is false.
They lie to women and saying having your first child will destroy your social life.
Scaring women that having a kid destroys your life. This is false. We terrify girls into saying that if you get pregnant, your life's over. And this is what schools teach. Now I agree we should not have teenage pregnancies.
Yeah.
But actually having a child is one of the most delightful, happiness-inducing things you could possibly do.
I agree.
Of course. There's also with hormonal birth control, I think maybe a lot of women are unaware that hormonal birth control causes depression and dramatically increases risk of suicide.
Wow.
And changes their preferences on who they want to marry or have kids with.
Wow.
It changes their personality.
Wow.
And not to say this on the box, by the way. But
caution may change your personality.
Yes, if the warnings are
all these women on birth control, on contraceptive, change their personality.
Has significant risk of depression, significant increase in suicide, and will make you want to go out with people that you don't actually like.
Make them want to go out with weak-minded males that they don't really like.
I know.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't use birth control. I think we should just be
crazy. They're attracted to men they're not attracted to because of birth control.
It's making a lot of women sad and depressed.
Yes.
And they don't realize it, and they don't realize that's the cause. And that there are other forms of contraception that could be used, and that they should just read the label on the box is what I'm saying.
That was what you just said.
Read the warning label.
Let's continue back to Parliament. Just want to put that up on the channel. Let's see where else we got. Here we go.
The honourable member from Brantford Brant.
Mr. Speaker, the latest $400 million scandal from this Liberal government has paralyzed Parliament.
Damn.
The Auditor General found 186 conflicts of interest, with close to $400 million handed out to corrupt Liberal insiders, all at a time when Canadians cannot afford to eat, heat, or house themselves.
They can't.
It begs the question, how damning is that evidence that they have grounded Parliament to a halt simply to hide the truth from Canadians?
That's what they've been doing.
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I enjoy the interventions from the member opposite, but I also appreciate his experience as a former Crown prosecutor. He used to work closely with the police. And what he would recollect from his past career is that those police operate independently from him as a former Crown, and certainly independently from politicians. Why do they do that, Mr. Speaker? So that we can have confidence in our institutions in this country. You know who does have confidence? People that live under authoritarian regimes. Instead
That's
of
you guys.
stimulating authoritarianism, how about you join this side and learn how to fight against it?
Yeah, join the dark side? No thanks. I don't want to join the dark side.
Colleagues, please. And ask the honourable member from Wellington Halton Hills, please, not to raise his voice when he is not recognized by the chair. The honourable member. The honourable member from Brantford, Brant.
Speaker, you ruled that the NDP Liberals violated a House order by withholding evidence regarding their $400 million scandal, effectively obstructing justice, to which the Minister of Justice should be aware of. The refusal to respect your ruling has paralyzed Parliament, pushing aside all our work to address the doubling of housing costs, food inflation, and the rise in crime and chaos.
Wow.
The time to end the cover-up is now. When will they hand over the documents so that we can get accountability for corruption?
They don't have accountability, man. They never fucking did.
The honourable leader of the government in the House of Commons.
There she is again, look.
Your ruling was clear to send this matter to committee for further study.
Oh,
the
Lord.
Conservatives
Yeah,
don't
study
like
study
that
your
because
corruption.
You'll hear from experts like
dumb.
the former law clerk
Stupid,
who
man.
says, in my humble opinion, it is an
Yeah,
abuse
study
of
my
the powers
corruption.
of this House to use its power to demand and get documents from the government in order to transfer them to a third party that wouldn't otherwise receive them, or to compel the government to give documents to a third party. Mr. Speaker, expert after expert will tell them this is wrong. We are here to stand up for the rights of Canadians every single day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member from Nunavut.
The Liberals are actively refusing reconciliation and evading their obligations required in the honor of the Crown. This government knew for 7 years that the big dock in Fort Chipewyan is contaminated with cancer-causing substances, and for 7 years they covered it up. Rightfully, families are now worried about their children's health and whether they will lose them to cancer. When will this government uphold the honor of the Crown and work with First Nations to ensure their health and safety?
Doing that for years, man. I'm native. My
great
grandmother was Cherokee.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for raising this important point. Safety is my top priority as Minister of Transport. I hear and understand the concerns from the First Nation communities, and it is crucial that remote Northern and Indigenous communities have access to safe and reliable connectivity that they need. I will be continuing to work with the Minister of Indigenous Services on this very important matter. Thank you.
The honourable member from Churchill, Kiwatanacaski.
Mr. Speaker, we're now over 1,300 days since the Liberals promised to end long-term boil water advisories. But instead of doing that, the Liberals are fighting First Nations in court as we speak, doing their best.
I'm sorry to interrupt the honourable member. Colleagues, order. I'm going to ask the honourable member from Churchill, Kiwatanacaski, to start her question from the top.
Mr. Speaker, we're now over 1,300 days since the Liberals promised to end boiled water advisories, but instead of doing that, the Liberals are fighting First Nations in court as we speak. Doing their best Stephen Harper impression, they are carrying on years of colonialism and denying First Nations the right to clean drinking water. Shamattawa, the lead plaintiff, is taking on Canada, one of the richest countries in the world, whose Prime Minister travels the world pretending to be a leader in human rights, all the while denying Shamattawa clean water. When will this government stop fighting Shamattawa, Tataspiaq, and 58 First Nations and deliver clean drinking water?
The Honourable Minister for Indigenous Services.
Mr. Speaker, since 2015, we've lifted 145 long-term boil water advisories together with First Nations, and we're going to continue till we get the job done. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, that member opposite has an opportunity to help make sure we never return to the situation that we found ourselves in 2015 with Bill C-61 in committee, nearing study. I hope that we'll see a safe passage of that legislation through this House so that no First Nations person ever lives without clean water again.
The Honourable Member from Buena Vista Burn Trinity.
Mr. Speaker, in the 1980s, the Government of Canada and the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador came together to sign the historic Atlantic Accord. This agreement created an offshore energy sector in our province, delivering economic opportunity and prosperity for generations of families and communities. Now, this government and the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador came together again to strengthen this accord to kickstart a new offshore renewable energy industry. Bill C-49 has now become law, ensuring that Newfoundlanders and Labradorians can lead the world in offshore wind and clean energy.
Oh, man.
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Because with a strengthened Atlantic Accord, Atlantic Canada is set to become a global leader in wind hydrogen. There are trillions of dollars on the table, Mr. Speaker, and we should all be excited about the good jobs that that's going to create in our region. And think about the kids who now get to see their folks work at home. But the Conservatives spent months blocking C-49. And really, how could the member for Central Coast Bay, Notre Dame, fight against the best interests of his community? Because Conservatives try to stand in the way of progress. But we get it done. And Atlantic Canada will produce the clean energy that the world wants, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Edmonton, Mill Woods.
After 9 years of NDP Liberals, taxes are up, costs are up, crime is up, and time is up, Mr. Speaker. And now we're dealing with yet another Liberal corruption scandal.
Another one.
The Liberal minister from Edmonton misled Parliamentary committee when he claimed to have had no contact with his business partner around the time of an alleged $500,000 fraud involving someone named Randy. However, when phone records proved otherwise, he changed his story.
Of course he does.
Why don't he just come clean about this corruption?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what else we got here. No Justin Trudeau, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Regina, Wisconsin.
Mr. Speaker, after 9 years of these NDP Liberals, taxes are up, costs are up, crime is up, and time is up. In order to get around the Conflict of Interest Act, the Liberal minister from Edmonton seems to have hired someone known as the Other Randy to manage his fraud-ridden medical supply company. Well, just like the Other Randy, there should be an other Prime Minister to run this government.
Yep.
When will the Prime Minister call a carbon tax election so Canadians can finally have an other Prime Minister?
Hear, hear. Great question.
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, all of us come to this place because we want to serve Canadians. The Liberals on this side of the House want to be able to deliver important measures for
Not
them.
you.
We know that we need to be able to earn their trust every single day. What we see from Conservative members of Parliament is that they think they've already won the next election, Mr. Speaker, but that's not how elections work. We all have to have the humility in this place to work.
Ma'am, we're done listening to your lies. The next one up is, it's called The Shadow of Hate. It's called The Shadow of Hate, man. It says, The Shadow of Hate, the alarming rise of anti-Semitism in Canada. According to a 2024 survey by the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, CIJA, the advocacy agent of the Jewish community, 82% of Canadian Jews feel less safe after October 7th. However, the country known as its cosmopolitan citizenry, beautiful landscapes, and high quality of life has increasingly emerged as a place in which Jews are fearful. And it goes on and on and on. right? This is the new, right? It's a skyrocketing hate in Canada. So this is Canada reports that in 2022, Jewish Canadians were the target of 67% of all religion-based hate crimes. This is what they voted for? All right? And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So you better start preparing, man. You better start preparing. You want a society where people don't like each other, like really hate each other? You got it. I was trying to say, no, man, let's not do it. Like, we should have a different ideas. They said, no, I don't know what I'm talking about. So fine. I don't make friends with hateful people. Then we got another thing with Kamala. What a joke. Kamala Harris avoids substantive interviews in favor of a podcast known for sex revelations. Kamala Harris's team has realized that Brett vibes, coconut emojis alone will not carry her over the finish line in November. It won't carry her over the finish line in November. After avoiding interviews has become a cornerstone of her campaign, she is finally scheduled to make the rounds to speak not with a teleprompter, but a real human. To talk about substantive issues. She'll be tested on her nearly 4 years in the Biden White House, her record on the border, and how she plans to bring down the cost of living. I'm kidding. Harris is gearing up for a softball tour, visiting the right-hating ladies of The View, Stephen Dancing Vaccine Needle Colbert, and Howard Stern, all people ready to throw her a parade because she's not the bad man, the bad orange man. Right? On Sunday, she was on Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy podcast, which is a place for celebrities to talk about copulation in such a tawdry way that it would make Samantha Jones blush. It's where Katy Perry boasted for rewarding fiance Orlando Bloom with oral sex if he's done housework. The Brazilian pop star Anitta, the comedian Heather McMahon shared their fellatio tips. Christina Aguilera once referred to herself as a promoter of the swallow on the show. This is what they're voting for? This is the feminists here? The elites. It's a top-down thing. It's the elite. It's the elitism. Not exactly an inclusive, not exactly an incisive political form, but it's a safe place. It's a safe spot for Harris, who has been showered with soft, focused media features and fawning takes on her cooking and clothing, to once again be treated like a glitterly celebrity. I've seen many Republicans dismiss the podcast, saying they've never heard of it. It's dishonest to claim Cooper's audience isn't passionate, engaged, or massive. Call Her Daddy was the 4th most listened to podcast in the country in the second quarter of this year. I don't listen to this shit. I only covered it because of the podcast that I have to do. It's a bunch of feminists talking about nothing. It's nothing. Right? And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Right? We know it's the elitism. We know this. The next one up is I'm not going to go for the downtown stuff. We can go to X and play. Kamala was on The View. And then she's on Howard Stern. But we can go to The View. Hold on. Here she is. Look. She's on The View. Look at this. You effing dumb B. I love Hamas. Open your window. Muslim extremists marching to commemorate October 7th. Stop and harass female driver in New York City. They threaten her and spit on her car. These are the people of tolerance and DEI and all that stuff. Really?
You dumb bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. You scared now?
You stop me in traffic, I'm getting out, and I'm going to confront you cowards. I promise you. I dare you to stop me.
What happened? You fucking dumb bitch.
Stop me.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Stupid, yeah, triangle, Hamas.
You fucking dumb bitch.
Yeah.
You stupid.
Right? You come up to my window with a camera, I'm gonna show you. I promise.
Stupid, open your window, dummy.
Right? That's how they approach people that disagree with them. Okay, all right. Okay, there's that one. I'm gonna retweet that one. I'm gonna show you, man. This is their idea. So again, I don't know if this is true, but they say in another video of a volunteer supply zone getting totally ruined by a Black Hawk in Western North Carolina. What the hell was going on? So again, the Hurricane Helene, the community came together, right? I don't know if this was ordered by Harris because of the FEMA Hurricane Helene outrage that they're providing $750. But for some reason, Blackhawks are over the volunteers and destroying, their charitable donations. It's really serious, man. I don't know. I'm just going to play the video. Where are these Blackhawks going? Look what the Blackhawks are doing. Look. What are these Blackhawks doing over this? Let's go to End Wokeness. Okay, 60 Minutes removed Kamala's word salad in the latest version. 1984 is here. Okay, let's watch this here.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has
actual answer versus edited answer.
Resulted in a number of
showing you the manipulation
movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister...
Right? They edit answers. It's crazy. Okay, here's Kamala on The View. Let's listen.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Right? You hear what she said? She's been a part of most of the decisions that have impacted.
The decisions that have had a part of there is not a thing that comes.
The narrative when they say, well, she's just the vice president. She doesn't really have power. Hear her in their own words. Listen to what she said.
To mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Okay, there you have it. She's been part of most of the decisions. This notion that she's just the vice president, it's a lie. I got the Elon Musk stuff. Oh, here's another angle of the Blackhawks destroying North Carolina volunteer supply zones. Listen to this. Watch this. What are these Blackhawks doing destroying supply zones for hurricane victims? What are they doing? The Blackhawks doing? Look. That is crazy, man. Right? So you can see it there. Look, dude. Blackhawks destroying volunteer supply zones. Crazy. It shows Kamala has dropped off a little bit. Trump is at a 54%. Kamala's below 46%. Governor DeSantis He has a message for Kamala. Here's his message for Kamala Harris. Listen to this.
My focus has not been on dealing with Kamala Harris. I saw the news report. I didn't know she tried to contact me, but I'd also say it's not about you, Kamala.
There
It's
you
about
go.
the people of Florida.
There you go.
My focus is exactly where it should be. And I can tell you this, I've worked on these hurricanes under both President Trump and President Biden. Neither of them ever tried to politicize it. She has never called on any of the storms we've had since she's been vice president until apparently now. Why all of a sudden is she trying to parachute in and inject herself when she's never shown any interest in the past? We know it's because of politics. We know it's because of her campaign. I have zero time to entertain these political games.
That's
We're gonna
right.
Continue to do what we need to do to prepare and respond to what may be one of the most damaging storms in the history of the United States. So she says focusing on protecting your people is selfish. I think she ought to look in the mirror.
That's right. She's selfish. We know that. We know that, right? Like, it's crazy. Someone said Nuremberg 2.0 in Canada. Wow, complicit. Okay, what else do we got here? Let's go up here. So we showed you the Blackhawks stuff. We showed you that video. It says breaking, Joe Biden did it again. He scheduled a press conference when Kamala was on The View. So here's lying Biden.
What's the risk of political figures sharing misinformation during this time?
Lying Biden.
Past his prologue is real. But the fact of the matter is, I think we have, I've been able to contact all the governors.
No more lies. Okay, here's Justin Trudeau.
Your friend Gerald Butts recently said in an interview that a fall election is likely. Do you agree with him?
My focus is on continuing to deliver concrete
You haven't
measures for
delivered nothing.
Canadians. We're
Stop the
about
lies.
to work on pharmacare in the House. And
You're not
that's going
working
to
on anything. It's
deliver
more lies and
free
corruption.
insulin to people suffering diabetes, free contraceptive
Yeah, go get your abortion, right? Free contraceptives.
prescription contraceptive,
Right.
and
Menstrual
contraceptive devices,
products in men's
to
bathrooms.
women across the country. These are things that
This is a
Canadians
weak-minded
need,
male.
particularly at a time
Weak men
where
create hard times.
every dollar counts in a family budget.
Okay, enough of this clown. So they had some fight at the mall. Two groups, modern women versus modern men. She's pulling on his dreadlocks. You see that? That's how they treat the black man. That's how because they think they're men. So that's how they treat them. Look. Right? Now watch her pull on his dreadlocks. Listen.
Oh, God.
You guys see it though, right? I don't want to play because now it's probably going to get more crazier. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so that's that story. I think there's some clown world stuff here. Yeah, I think there's some clown world stuff. Let's see. All right, thoughts. So let's hear it.
What's your age?
35.
34. And how long have you guys been together?
2.5 years.
If he cheated on you, would you give him another shot?
Probably. Yeah, I have before.
So what do you have to say for yourself?
You know, in life you make mistakes, and you know, if God blesses you with a second chance, you just got to pay attention to it. So.
Why didn't you just get up and leave?
Because I just loved him. I love him so much, and I know he's better than that.
You didn't feel like you'd find another him out there in the world?
I didn't want to. I wanted him to be the good man I know him to be.
But you don't think that as a man, we just will always have that itch or that want to experience new things and new women?
Possibly, but that's why you got to keep it interesting. You got to give him what he needs and everything he wants.
So how do you
do all that? You know, pocket too.
All right, so we got some news here with a couple things going on, right? So this was what Elon had said. Elon said, Elon Musk names the rich Democrats who are terrified of the Epstein and Diddy files becoming public. Remember what I said? I'll be streaming this when they drop, when the names finally drop. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait because we're going to find out a lot of stuff. So it says, Elon Musk has claimed billionaires like Bill Gates are afraid of Donald Trump's win because it would lead to the release of the names associated of Sean Diddy Combs and Jeffrey Epstein. The Tesla CEO 50 made the unfounded claim in an interview with Tucker Carlson on the Musk's own social media app X. I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome. Musk named Microsoft founder Gates and Likinen founder Reid Hoffman as two of the billionaires who supposedly feared the release of Epstein's client list. Gates and Hoffman are major Democratic donors. So when that names drop, it's going to be interesting to see who it might be. And then we got the traffic jam of the, people trying to get away from the hurricane. Thousands are trapped in Florida's hurricane hell as traffic lines clog roads and gas is running out. Gas is running out, guys. While monster storm Milton closes in and officials warn residents to flee or die. Flee or die. Thousands of people are scrambling to flee Florida as catastrophic Hurricane Milton threatens a once-in-a-century direct hit on Tampa and St. Petersburg, engulfing the region with towering storm surges. Terrified Floridians are rushing to safety after local officials issued a stark warning overnight, advising residents to flee or die before the monster storm packs furious winds and gushes walls of water inland tomorrow. Drivers are sitting in standstill traffic this morning as the state's major highways are clogged with miles-long lines of cars trying to flee the line of danger. Traffic is jammed both north and southbound as locals seek shelter out of state and in Miami. The window has also nearly closed for people to escape the region by plane as airports of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Orlando have already started grounding flights. Residents who have accepted they won't be able to flee and are preparing to hunker down have begun panic buying supplies, stripping stores' shelves of bottled water, toilet paper, and other household necessities. Those who are still desperate to escape and follow evacuation orders say it may be too dangerous to hit the roads because local gas stations have run out of fuel. Could you imagine this is going on in 2024? Now look at that traffic jam. You trying to get out of the city, bro? You trying to get out when there's a hurricane that could cost you your life? You're going to be sitting in that amount of traffic, man. It's pretty scary, bro. Panic buying, no fuel, no gas. It's really scary, bro. And this is where it's supposed to take place. It's supposed to like Thursday in the morning. Traffic backups for miles as Floridians rush out of Tampa. Let's play that.
Exercise.
most effective way to combat the long-term effects of chronic stress.
It is October 7th, 2024, 2:54 p.m. here in the outside of Tampa, Florida. Highways
No gas and stuck in traffic.
check the evacuation lines. With
Wow.
miles and miles and upon miles of traffic heading out of the city.
How would you get
heading
out?
Out of the coastal areas of the Tampa Bay area.
Oh. Yeah, it's crazy. It's scary, man. That's like the worst thing that could ever happen, man. That and war. That and war. Oh, they have this kind of map here. It shows the gusts and the winds and all that stuff. The radar. So, you know, flights are canceled, man. Flights are canceled, man. Panic buying. I mean, goddamn, how, bro, this is fucking insane, man. I can't believe this is going on.
Now, chances are
Hurricanes are deadly, man. Long lines in Orlando Costco. You know, strong and independent say you don't need a man. Looking like you need a man to you know, looking like you need a man that's like, you know, my size handling sandbags. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Looks like you need some brothers to handle some sandbags and handle sand. It's fucking crazy. These guys are crazy, man. Their ideology is disgusting, man. Britt explains how she's preparing for Hurricane Milton. Residents brace for Hurricane Milton, even as Helene cleanup continues. Oh my God! Remember the Biden-Harris the Biden-Harris administration offered the citizens that lost their homes $750. It's a slap in the face, man, for birthright Americans. If you ask me, I'm not even saying it to be hyperbolic. I'm just saying it because it's the right thing to say. $750. Actually, let's go to her tweet. I'll show you the tweet. Right here. Here's the tweet. 30 million views, guys, on X. This is what she tweeted. The people of Lebanon are facing an increasingly dire humanitarian situation. I am concerned about the security and well-being of civilians suffering in Lebanon and will continue working to help meet the needs of all civilians there, right? To that end, the United States will provide $157 million in additional assistance to the people of Lebanon for essential needs such as food, shelter, water protection, and sanitation to help those who have been displaced by the recent conflict. This additional support brings total United States assistance to Lebanon over the last year to $385 million. And they were able to do this without Congress's approval. She was able to snap her fingers as the vice president and make this happen. But they'll tell Americans, birthright Americans, or they'll tell birthright Canadians, that's what Trudeau does, that they need, you know what I'm saying, Congress. Or they need the House of Commons to do this. They have the money to do it. I've been saying that. We know they have the money. We know they have the money. What about the people of North Carolina? Do you really think anyone cares about aid to Lebanon right now? North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida should be your only priority. What are you giving to Americans in North Carolina? What the F is wrong with you? Help Americans, right? Thank you for doing what you can to lose votes. What about everyone who is suffering in North Carolina? We send billions to Ukraine to bomb Lebanon, then millions to Lebanon to rebuild. How does that make sense? Right? You serve the American people, not Lebanon. Why are you sending 200 million there when Americans that lost everything need those resources? That's the point. They don't care about birthright citizens. They don't care about us. That's it. That's all you need to know. Colin Rugg said, you are purposely spitting in the faces of Americans in North Carolina. You are going to lose so badly in a month. I hope so. Here's some footage of it. More money to Lebanon than North Carolina. Really amazing. Help them rebuild, man. The devastation. Then they have those Blackhawks that are destroying volunteer supply zones. Can't make it up. Right, so this is where we are, man. Someone said, "There's a meme. Everything you own is completely destroyed, but here's $750. Now go away and stop complaining." Basically, right? She puts America last. Justin Trudeau puts Canada last. That's what they do. Right? It says, this is a joke, right? $750 in this economy. That's not going to do crap. Shame on our country. Kamala just told Americans they will be receiving $750 to those who truly need it for hurricane relief. Remember, they don't even have internet connection. They don't even have a connection to get the money. We can send billions to Ukraine, but Americans who have lost everything only get $750.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
Crazy. That's all you get if your home is wiped away. Someone said a whole $750, not even $1,000. Right? It's a joke. This is absolutely disgusting. What the hell is $750 supposed to do? It's a joke. Another Hawaii, what the hell is $750 going to do? You're a joke and a half. Hope you dream about all the lives that you are ruining. The $750, what's that going to do? And she posted the assistance helpline. Right? That's what they offer you. $750. $750 for Americans in desperate need. Many of whom lost everything, including family. $250 billion spent in Ukraine with a population of minus 38 million equals a bit more than 6,500 per person. Right? This is what they offer you.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
$750 to birthright Americans.
Met, such as food, baby formula, and
more money to Ukraine and Lebanon.
Who has been affected. There are FEMA personnel who are going door to door to interact personally with folks, especially those who do not have electricity.
They don't have internet. How are they going to get the $750?
Can be applied for online.
Their policies are
and I encourage people
dangerous.
to do that. FEMA will just basically verify your address, and then the process should take hold. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food.
What is $750 going to do in this economy? It's a slap in the face. It's a spit in the face. Right? Why are we sending all our money overseas when this is happening in America? $750, what the hell is going, what is that going to do for anyone? And then if you pull up Peter Doocy, he challenges the White House press secretary on the $750, right? He challenges them. And what do? They back away. They walk away.
And on this issue of funding,
right? They walk away.
The administration has money to send to Lebanon.
I just showed you did I not show you Kamala's tweet? Did I not read what she said out of her own mouth? The $750? Peter Doocy challenges them.
Without Congress coming back.
Without
Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
Here's what I'm going to be very clear about. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response to this. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I said it at the top, more than $200 million that we have directly put towards survivors here for disaster help. And that's because of this president's commitment to make sure that we are there for communities that are impacted. We take this very seriously again. We take this very seriously. And before the hurricane hit, we pre-positioned more than 1,500 federal folks on the ground to help. And so we have made sure that every state has gotten their storm requested emergency declaration. They requested it, and we made sure they received it. We've taken this very seriously. More than $200 million that we have provided to the impacted areas. But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous, because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need. That is there for them. That's our focus here.
But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir.
You hear this nonsense?
What you do? Yes, it's misinformation.
Is there money to send to Lebanon right now?
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to.
Right, and they have these Black Hawks that are destroying the supplies zones from citizens that are trying to help these people, man.
Well, people are deciding not to.
There's not enough money to help people in North Carolina.
We're talking about the SBA disaster loan.
That's money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new.
Right,
Congress comes together. They provide money,
with the hand
millions of
motions
dollars
and the way she says
for disaster relief.
It's Obama.
We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
Democratic machines puppets.
It's not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation.
There's money. Hey, certified. Is it sunny outside? Well, the way you asking me a question is misinformation. Joe Scoff said misinformation is the new discredit word, the new conspiracy theory. There you go.
That we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
That you don't like misinformation.
I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now, there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be. And so we're going to need additional funding. We're going to need additional
That's
funding.
exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was
No.
misinformation.
What
Yes.
you're asking me is why
You have to
Congress
talk
needs
to
to
them
come
like
back
they're
and do their
children,
job.
right?
That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide
What
extra
kind of outfit
assistance,
is
extra
this?
funding to
You a
disaster
mob
relief
boss
fund.
now?
That's what Congress needs
part
to
of the
do, and we're going to
Sopranos?
continue to urge that.
The
You may not
mafia?
want that, but that's okay. That's what this president wants, and that's what the
Look,
vice
what's
president
gonna
wants.
walk
Thanks,
away?
everybody.
Look. Now, there's this video that just went viral of a cheater, alleged cheater. Now watch this video. There you go. Right, more modern women nonsense. Right, you date shit. You date, right? They date turds. They date cat turd. Dating said cat turd. You date a weak-minded, corrupt-minded, low testosterone male. Then when he cheats on your ass, you go and damage his property. Why? Just accept the cheat and move on. Show us. So look what she did. Spray painted cheater on his car. She smashed in his windows, all over sex in a relationship. A toxic relationship that you were ignorant enough to stay in. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. Right? He's calling the police, I think. Right? Right? You can do it to a guy like that, the low testosterone man. You can't do it to me. You're standing on the hood of my vehicle. You spray painted and damaged the paint job on my vehicle. And now you're going to damage my windows because you're a masculized female. That a man can't, a man being masculine, you don't accept or respect. You want a feminized male. It's really crazy. Really crazy. Look what she's doing.
Warrant for your arrest for felony vandalism.
Okay, so now they're knocking on her door.
We need a
Vandalism for what? For what?
Didn't you just damage? We just seen you on video damaging the guy that you picked, the guy that you opened your legs to, the guy that you got on your knees and serviced him. You picked him. And you're on camera damaging his property.
Felony vandalism from it's all over social media.
I'm pregnant. I can't go to jail.
Did you hear it? It's all over. The police told her it's all over social media. Listen.
I'm pregnant.
Felony vandalism from it's all over social media.
For what?
Felony vandalism from it's all over social media.
Felony vandalism, and it's all over social media. So you do a crime, you post a crime, and then when they come to arrest your stupid ass, you say, "Well, why you here? Why you here? What for what?"
It's all over.
Right? You play dumb when it benefits you. That's what they do. They play dumb when it benefits them. They're not that smart.
Media.
I'm pregnant. I can't go to jail.
For what?
He hits her.
You play stupid when.
Okay,
You
did you
don't
press
know
charges?
nothing. Why are you here? Fucking hands on me.
Did you press charges, man?
Right? Now she's playing her victim mentality. Look.
Did you press charges?
Why are you here? Fucking hands on me.
Did you press charges, man?
No, of course not. They pull out their victim card when it suits them. When they do something wrong, they have to pull out their victim card. That's all they're going to do. You do something to someone, then when the police come, you snitch and you pull out your victim card. Come on, man.
Exactly.
You gotta record
You need
this
to
shit,
come out
bro.
and step out with us, please.
No, she's not going
You
nowhere.
need to come out with us
Not
right
going
now.
nowhere.
Do not close the door.
I'm gonna close the door because she's not going nowhere.
Okay?
Step out the house.
No, I'm
You
not
have
gonna
5
go.
seconds, man. Step out. Now.
You got 5 seconds, dummy. They asking you to step out the house. You might treat your ex like that. You can't treat them like this.
No, I'm not
You
gonna
have 5
go.
seconds, man. Step out.
They're
Now.
trying to make this easy for
1,
you.
2,
So either you step out
3,
the house or we go in there.
4.
You're not coming in.
5.
What? Nah, you can't come in.
Okay,
I could go. I could go
Have
by
a nice
myself.
day. Have a nice day. Right? You trying to run away?
That was the word of the day. Weird. Fake.
Right? They're psychotic, man. It's really crazy. Okay, I think that's it for the news right now. You're so psychotic. It's really sick. Okay, so right, Toronto rapper top 5 brags about jail time. Thanks, guard. He says gave him cell phones. Yeah, I don't be bragging. I'm not giving up my freedom for social media or to prove a point. But the only way I'm giving up freedom is to defend myself. And that's still self-defense, motherfucker. They are just ruthless. Toronto senior loses 27,000 to roofing scam. Right? Trudeau on the road as opposition parties keep election pressure on. And I think that's about it. I don't need to play that. Okay, let's see what else we can find here. So we covered a lot of things, man. Covered a lot of things. Let's go to X right quick. Let's see. Oh, look, they threatening this man. Look.
Fuck you!
Right? It's like 6 of them. Right? He wants you to put your hands on 6 of them so they can try to gang on you. It's nothing. This is what they do. It says this woman made how much in 48 hours of OnlyFans? What are we doing, fellas? They don't get money from me, dog. They don't get nothing from me.
We're gonna just start OnlyFans. In 48 hours, how much money did you make?
48 hours.
Oh my God.
I made a little over $1 million.
Right? Because she was born Caucasian. She was born with tits and a vagina. She was born female. So she's maximizing her gender and using weak-minded, simp-minded, corrupt-minded, low-T males that have no moral framework or moral compass. And I say on my platform, don't get used by a pretty face. Don't get used by a pretty face. There's more of them alike than not. They're a dime a dozen.
To celebrate, and I won $30,000. Oh my God. Look, this shit, $100 tip. Hey, Corinna, can I get some tea?
We're gonna just start OnlyFans.
Right? You're a digital hooker. You're a slut. You have a whore's mentality. You digitally sell yourself. You digitally sell yourself online. You're a digital hooker. That's all it is. Nothing. There's no skill in that. You were born female. That's it. Okay, let's see what else we have here. This is Alpha Fox's channel. Okay, these are all old videos here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, if you're an American, man, I would encourage you to register to vote, man. Please register to vote if you're an American, because you don't look at these guys. These are the guys that support Kamala. Bull ring, nose ring niggas. And they have the nerve to talk about my appearance? These are the low testosterone, weak-minded, corrupt-minded, one-dimensional thinking dudes. What do we call them? Betas. These are the same ones on dating apps. It's the same archetypal dudes. Look.
Beta. So I was having sex with my girlfriend. Beta. Little beta. Beta. At the moment, I live with my mother. Beta.
There they are. Let's go to the comments. Hold on. It says they have one face. White women for Harris. The woke mind virus is the biggest threat to the American healthcare system. That's funny. It says somewhere between 1959 and 2023, things went terribly wrong. Things went terribly, terribly wrong. Yep, I can agree with that. It's a good meme. Studies show that men's testosterone has been in decline for decades. What's your source? And it shows them. It says, bro, do you even see yourself right now? Clearly, I'd be the guy on the right side of the screen. Most of the people on dating streaming services and on and on and on it goes on the left side of the screen. That's how they really are. That's how they operate through life. They're feminized. That's it. Kamala Harris 2024. That's a great question. They love government money as much as the illegals. Let's listen.
So I will not be voting for Donald Trump, and here's why you shouldn't either. So he wants to cut food stamps by $180 billion. He wants to take it away from adults who are not working more than 20 hours a week. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not want to work. I do not want to lose the $2,500 that I get from food stamps. And not only that, but I want to have another baby just for the simple fact that it's going to raise my benefits.
What happened?
I wanted to raise my food benefits, my cash benefits, all that stuff. So if Donald Trump becomes president, I won't get that anymore, and that is not fair. As a U.S. citizen, I feel like I have the right to decide if I want to work or not. I have the right to decide if I want to mooch off the government or not. So therefore, I do not agree with Donald Trump, and I won't be voting for him. So my vote will go for Kamala Harris. We know that a woman could do a better job than any man can running this country.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because they're in power right now, and they're doing a terrible job. Just so you know.
Trump becomes president, I won't
Just
get
so
that
you know,
anymore, and that
dummy.
is not fair. As a U.S. citizen, I feel like I have the right to decide if I want to work or not. I have the right to decide if I want to mooch off the government or not. So therefore, I do not agree with Donald Trump, and I won't be voting for him. So my vote will go for Kamala Harris.
Of course.
We know that a woman could do a better job
I'm
than any
pro-woman too,
man can.
but I'm a logical thinker. Let's go to the comments. It says, she's already eaten about 1,900 too much by the look of her. What a lazy bitch. It says, shut this B up. Did she just get paid for this? Is this a misinformation? Don't you want to slap her? Yes, it is. And yes, you can. A black mother woman has 7 kids, gets $6,000 a month and $5 in cash. She was bragging about it. There's no bounds of what some people will do to feed their greed. Having another child just for the benefit increase is downright awful. You care more about the money than your children's future, safety, or education. Do you love your kids? Show it. That's the whole point. They use men for benefits. They use the government for benefits. You know, so that's what they're doing. But I digress. I